What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the House of Nerd show. It's the back to school summer especial. We're here with some special guests, Mr. Adam Cahoon and Mr. John Lees. What's going on, gentlemen?
What's going on, guys?
Hi. Maybe just caught me vibing there to the music before the.
It's a nice beat.
I do that all the time, John. I just get very excited. You be bopping your head like, all right, let's go.
That little graphic. I'm like, oh, we're traveling. We're traveling.
That's what I call the Doctor Who graphic right there. Where the TARDIS bouncing around.
That's why I love having you guys on. You guys get it. That's how we're going. We're getting in there. Got the music and all that going, man. Excited to have you gents back on the show. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Yes, sir. And John, you're all the way. You're across the pond, eh? Just to hop
all the way in Glasgow, Scotland.
Okay.
We can tell by the accent, John.
I like to kid on and say this is just an affectation, it's like a fake accent, and I'm actually from New Jersey whenever I'm at conventions. It's like the prestige. I've dedicated my life to this character. This is the performance.
I like that. Oscar worthy, to say the least, man.
Yeah.
Oh man. So I do apologize in advance, John, if I've got terrible hearing to begin with. Who's that?
That's John's special friend right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
You mentioned Oscar worthy.
Yeah.
Oscar worthy. That was a good setup right there. I like that.
Now, what's little buddy's name here? Who's joining us? We got a fifth guest.
Oh, there's Oscar.
Oh, Oscar, yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's his name, Oscar. Yeah.
I wasn't getting that. I was like, was another guest coming?
That's true.
Joining us. We love the doggos here. We love the doggies, man. So by all means, if he wants to jump in on the stream at any time.
I just thought it was best to show him so that if you hear any heavy breathing in my end, you know it's not coming from me.
Okay.
It's not me, it's the dog. I promise you.
Okay. Usually I'm the one doing the heavy breathing on the show.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true, Sergio.
So it's good, man. Have someone else joining us. Folks, right off the top, we're gonna remind you. We're going to remind everybody to comment on back to school in the live chats. That dog is the real one behind all.
Yeah. He operates me like one of those mechs, one of those, animes.
Yeah.
He ratatouilles me around the house.
That puppet in Batman's rogue gallery.
Ventriloquist. Scarface. Is it Scarface? Harvey's?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Man, all over the place. Ventriloquist. What are you guys going on about ventriloquist?
It's the Scarface and ventriloquist. The one of the best, most underrated Batman villains.
They are.
Yeah, the little
He's the wee timid guy, the doll makes him do things. It's like he's the real mastermind.
But it's so weird because obviously the ventriloquist is the mastermind behind it. He just didn't know it,
Yeah, that's the best part.
So folks, we're gonna remind you on back to school in the live chats to be entered in the giveaway. We got two opportunities for the community. Love being a part of this community. First one, folks, we've got this fantastic Battle Chasers exclusive variant signed by the artist, Mr. Mike Del Mundo.
That's nice.
Artist, man. And it comes complete with your certificate of authenticity. I did not forge this one.
Oh, look at that. Fancy. You got the real deal in case you want to auction it off there.
We're not playing around. We're not playing around.
My comics with our certificates of authenticity.
Yeah, just slip of toilet paper with your name on it.
Yeah.
And I'll take this opportunity to give a shout out to the show's sponsor, Gotham Central Comics, who provided this bad boy. This is a Gotham Central Comics exclusive. If you're in the Toronto area, or even if you're not in the Toronto area, they ship out. They've got a lovely site. They ship out to the U.S., international, Canada, all over the place, man. Check them out. And if you're local to the area, they do have a Labor Day sale all weekend, 20% off. I'm gonna head on over there and grab me a couple copies of the Nasty.
You
Hey,
should. Some spares.
Yeah. So before we get into it, because folks, today we got a great show planned. We're talking the summer's best films, comics, TV shows, all that good stuff. But before we do want to talk about one of this year's best debuts is the Nasty from Mr. John Lees and Adam Cahoon. Man, what can you gentlemen tell us about your Vault Comics book here?
Oh wow. The Nasty is a coming-of-age horror comedy set in 1990s Scotland against the backdrop of the Video Nasties moral panic. Video Nasties was kind of like the UK's version of the Satanic Panic, where various right-wing reactionaries and moral panic people were drumming up hysteria about like horror movies and exploitation movies and getting videos banned and burned. And into that world, we have Thumper Connell, who's this lonely horror-loving teen, whose best friend is an imaginary friend who is the star of his favourite horror series, Red Ennis, who's this big, giant, hulking, masked slasher. And Thumper and various other horror-loving weirdos kind of like congregate at a local video shop, watching banned horror movies, and come up with a scheme to make their own movie, and things go in unexpected directions.
man, it's always so succinct when you describe it.
I know.
I always feel like I don't feel it. I feel like I'm some kind of like bad stand-up comic. Tell a joke.
He gave a good description of it.
With the dog in the house.
Yeah, I've been drawing this book for 8-9 months now, and I'm just like, there's a bunch of arms that come off, and
Yeah. No, that's the other version. It's like a story with a lot of heart and other body parts.
yeah,
It's a horror
I like that.
comedy.
It's nice.
It's a horror comedy. I dig it, you know. And I knew the term video nasty because there was this movie like my father used to show me when I was a kid. My father first of all, my father was horrible. He used to like trick me to seeing horror movies. He used to do that all the time. Like he like, we're going to see like some animated movie like Bambi and take me to see Children of the Corn. That's the kind of person he was. But I promise it was this movie called ''𝐿'', which is like the anti-ET. And that was the first movie I ever heard was like video nasty. Like it deserved it. It definitely deserved it.
That is I've seen extra in my like combing through of the depths of the video nasty bottom barrel, and it's quite a movie.
It definitely deserves to be labeled that.
And so the Nasty. Thank you very much, Adam. You've put up issues 1 through 3, 1, 2, and 3 for giveaway, folks. For giveaway. So again, we have two giveaways for the community today. The first one being the Battle Chasers, and then Adam's got issues 1, 2, 3 of the Nasty, which is great stuff. I'll take this opportunity. We had you gentlemen on a couple months back. We that was a show fully dedicated to the work. But I'll take this opportunity to say the debut issue of the Nasty, sincerely, guys, for folks who haven't read it, one of the best issues I've read all year. I don't say that lightly, man. Really great stuff. And it continues to get better. And then Adam, when you jumped on the book, just really elevated the art game and took the story to a whole new place, which I sincerely enjoyed, man. So folks, check it out, man. It's great stuff.
Thank you very much. And to big up Adam some more, like if you think the stuff you've seen so far is good, it just gets better and better. I've been seeing the pages coming in, and I just like would do a little happy dance around my room with glees.
He does the happy dance.
Oh yeah, it's great. I mean, Adam, you sent me number 4, so I'm excited to dig into that one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, like I said,
wait, you got number 4? I just read number 3. you be holding out on me, bro.
Oh no, it's just I think I sent him the PDF of 4. 4 is not. I don't think we haven't printed 4 yet.
Right.
Yeah, I
I
don't
was
have
saying
it yet.
4 was supposed to come out this week, but it's not gonna come out this week. Is that what y'all said?
Yeah, it's coming soon. So more information on that coming soon. But everything's all going to plan. Everything's going fine. So it will be coming. Don't worry.
Okay, good.
That's great. And there's some news dropping on Labor Day.
Yeah, I'm not sure if anyone who's been kind of watching social media, we've been posting little like countdowns that have been drawn up by Adam with Red Ennis holding up a hand, like counting down the days to Labour Day. That's obviously because like Red Ennis in the world of the Nasty, the horror movie that he stars in is Labour Day, it's the Labour Day franchise. And so Labour Day has a deep significance in the world of the Nasty. So we thought we'd celebrate that by doing something very special. So I think it's going to be something really cool. It's going to get a lot of buzz. So watch this space. Make sure to check out social media from tomorrow.
Yep.
That's great. I mean, that's marketing 101, baby. I mean, Labor Day, all that good stuff, man. I'm into it. So, folks, I want to give a shout out to the community. Let's do a little community shout out here, man, because I see a lot of great faces in the chat, so to speak. Shout out Kelly. First one here. Han, back to school. You are entered, Kelly. I see you. You're in the wheel of fortune, so to speak. And we'll do the giveaways. I think we'll split them up. We'll do one maybe halfway through and then one towards the end. Shout out to Nerdtastic News. Thank you so much for coming through.
Station.
You got the reference on him.
Yeah.
True nerds, man. I love it, man.
That's great.
Nerdtastic. Remember to comment Han back to school in the live chats to be entered into that giveaway. And nothing but love for the big homie Man Cave Theater. It's great to see you as always. And Cookie, you know what I like about Cookie? She always reminds me to, because these mornings be rough. So I gotta take a sip of my coffee. She got the little coffee emoji there. Hope everything is lovely. And Elle's in the house. Han back to school. Now I don't know that she. You didn't.
I knew you were gonna say something about that. That's why I posted it earlier.
See, you've got to be very specific here, folks. Like, I mean, here, let me throw up that banner. You see, I got him capitalized and all that stuff. So I don't know that your entry qualifies there, Ms. LW.
I think it should be allowed. I think it should qualify.
John's being he's been the gentleman that he is. We'll put you in. Yes, Han back to school. Cookie's in regardless. Cookie's in. Shout out Comic Foil, man. Good to see you. Yes, it's a sweet Battle Chasers cover, man. Great stuff. Speaking of across the pond, John, you're coming from Scotland, correct?
I am, yes.
Ian's coming all the way from Japan.
Oh wow.
Japan.
Big distance.
Yeah,
I think
my
it's
sister
like 2 or 3 in the
nighttime
morning.
there.
Shout out Zach Attacks Reviews, man. Doing great stuff. Check out his channel, folks. He's doing a lot of good stuff. Who else do we got here? Marquelon, do we got all these entries here? Brandon.
Yep. I'm making my list like Santa Claus, checking it twice. So yeah, I got that.
We got Philly Phil in the house.
I got 7 people on the list so far, Sergio.
Yeah. Diabolical Nerd. I don't think I've got Diabolical. Let me throw them up here. I got my own list going too. We're making sure we're not missing anybody here, folks. And then we got Zach. Do we got Zach? I gotta throw him in there. So just bear with us here, folks. This is a lot going on here behind the scenes, man.
I think Philly Phil just came in too.
Yeah. Okay. And Zach, great question. We're gonna get into it very, very shortly. Zach Attack asking, what is your favorite comic series of the years? I have a feeling you're gonna get the answer.
He said so far, because I'm like, man, the year's not over yet.
Cookie, I love it. She's not enough. She says it counts. All right. Okay.
You already know. We already know you be hating on Elle on the low, Sergio.
You gotta find that. And then Phil, I see you, Phil. Adding you, and then I saw
Figure drawing just came in too. I got him on the
Okay, let me add Figure in there as well. And okay, hey, listen. Thank you to everybody for joining us.
Look at Elle's comment for you. She said,
I refuse to look at Elle's comment.
No, she said you can hate on her on the high. On the high.
High key. Oh man. Hey, we're getting into our favorite content because this summer's been it's been packed, man. The year's been packed, the summer's been packed, full of great content. So we're excited, and we wanna hear from the live chats too, from the audience. Let us know what your favorite comics of the summer have been, what your favorite films and TVs, and I put together a little presentation here. Let me see if I can get that bad boy up and running, man.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. Me too.
Yeah, this is what Sergio do when he's not sleeping.
Oh man, there we go. Can you guys see that?
Yeah,
I can see it.
lovely.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Oh man, that's top tier, man. I got
Look at the
That
Steno
little
composition
star with the
notebook.
happy face on it, it's just perfection.
Thank you very much, John. I appreciate that, man. Hey, who has not had this notebook growing up? I mean, I know
I
I
think
did.
everybody has to know about it. The notebook itself is like a brand, like the Trapper Keeper's like a brand. Like,
Oh, dude, I miss my Trapper Keepers.
Now, that I'm not familiar. Is that an American thing or?
yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. They were
Yeah?
like plastic coated binders.
That's
with,
what
like,
it
the Velcro,
was.
with a Velcro flap, and they were
That's
like
exactly what it was.
ornately designed, like just obnoxious, like real 80s over the top, like laser beams and dolphins and fire and like just.
That sounds like
insane.
really impressive. I remember like when we were kids in school, like here in Glasgow, it was like a generic little like jotter that you got like wallpaper cuttings like put around to make
yeah.
cut.
Yeah, you guys look up like 80s Trapper Keepers, dude. They like that I could never afford one, but that's all we wanted was like the new Trapper
Keeper's right.
Keeper.
The biggest hustle, because you're right, it was essentially a binder, but they made you
Yeah,
feel
the
like
binder
you had
wrapped
to
in
have
plastic.
one.
Yeah, dude, they were they had like zipper pockets on the inside.
Oh,
Huge.
wow.
Man. Comic foil saying the Rolls Royce of school organization folders. Okay.
They were expensive because a binder runs what 99 cents maybe.
Yeah,
Trapper
maybe.
Keeper was like $3.99, $5.99.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the hell am I paying this for?
So the kids showed up one of them. They mean business.
Yeah.
And I was saying they dropped a new line of Trapper Keepers.
Yeah, I heard they came back. I heard they're doing it again.
See, Elle would know because she got young kids in school. Because I'm like,
Comic foil sold me with the Rolls Royce comment there. I mean, I gotta check these bad boys out. I don't know. We never got him up here in
Canada, in Toronto, eh?
No, not in Toronto. Hey, that's not too bad. But you gotta the last T is silent there, Mark, and it's Toronto. Yeah.
Toronto.
Exactly. Exactly. Speaking of John and Adam, you guys got to make your way up to TCAF for Fan Expo next year.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good stuff about that one for sure.
Yeah.
People love that one for
TCAF.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's very it's creator focused, right? No celebrities and any of that stuff. It's just about the arts.
When is it usually?
I want to say late April, so the springtime.
Okay, so like just after Emerald City.
Yeah, I'm not sure when Emeralds. Yeah, but yeah,
Emerald City is usually like March, April. Yeah,
not a bad time because by late April, the bulk of the cold weather is past us. It's like rainy. It's the rainy season up here, so gotta get you guys up, man. First round's on me. And then the next five on you guys though.
Sergio, the hustler.
Marquelon, you too, my man. Hey, shout out to Steven over at the Team Nerd Herd podcast, man, doing big things, baby. Great to see you in the chats. Okay, so folks, we're gonna get into our favorite, our best, in our opinion, anyways, content from the summer. We're gonna kick it off. I think who is up first? We've got here's a little meet the class slide. Now
is this like two of the kids in class have no showed? So.
Exactly.
Damn.
I want to take this opportunity to give a shout out to Fred and Kurt, who were scheduled to be here, but hey, life and family obligations, Man, life can be crazy like that. So unfortunately, they were not able to join us, but we're gonna reschedule those gentlemen ASAP. Fred, of course, Dead Romans writer on Image Comics, out now. The trade paperback is dropping soon, folks. Be sure to check that one out. And Kurt, super prolific writer, man. I mean, all kinds of work, man. Teenage
Kurt is
Wasteland.
everywhere, man. I saw his stuff on Comology. I was reading that. I was, dang, he
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, it's honestly crazy. I mean, when he told me he wasn't able to make, I'm like, I get it, dude. Like, you've got like 100 books to write, man. So shout out to these guys. Not here today. Potentially, possibly in detention.
This was like Nightmare on Elm Street. I'm looking across at the empty seat in the classroom.
Exactly. But we're super lucky to be joined by great creators themselves, Adam and John. Thank you, gentlemen. Again, this is our class, folks, of 2023. Goals of the class. Again, we're talking our top comics, top films, top TV shows, and we're just trying to stay out of the principal's way. What was that great line from Breakfast Club? You know, Buddy, the principal.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Who plays
It's
like
been
a
while
dick
since
in
I've
every
seen that
movie.
one, man.
His name escapes me right now, but
You were like, oh, the guy who plays a dick in like all the 80s movies. That's what he was, essentially.
yeah.
I'm just looking at this and I've realised I've botched this homework assignment terribly. I thought it was like top 3 like total, like rather than 3 of each. So I've only come up with like 1 for each category. I'll try and come up with some other ones on the fly.
I mean, it's cool. I said if you're not able to come up with 3.
Sorry, I just totally missed that. I just read like top 3 comics, films, and TV shows as if it was like, like 3 items in total.
Oh, good, my man.
Don't
Shout
feel
out
bad,
to
John.
One Collection. Don had a great time with him on the IG Live yesterday. Go and check it out. And One Collection, man, be sure to enter into the giveaway, buddy. Andrew, I've got you. So these are the goals of the class today. Who are we kicking it off with?
That's me.
I see you.
These are my picks.
Yeah, absolutely. Adam, why don't you tell us why these books here made your top 3? We could talk a little bit.
Well, okay. So like I said before we got on the air, I've only read 3 comics this summer, seen 3 movies, and watched 3 shows. So this is what you guys are getting is everything I've done this summer in terms of entertainment. But big shout out to my friends Tim and DB and Kurt on End After End, and then everyone's favorite Ben Hennessy on Godfell. Those are my guys. But those 2 books for me are just like, big sprawling adventures in these very like ornate, well-developed worlds. It's kind of, it's sort of, that's what I was looking for when I was a kid going to the video store, is like these sort of like big adventure stories that just kind of go on. And all very like Lord of the Rings before I knew really what Lord of the Rings was. And I just, and then the other one, Mrs. Truesdale, or Miss Truesdale, sorry. I'll get to that one in a second. That one's the only one that's finished. That was a 4-issue series, and that just wrapped up a couple weeks ago, I think. But End After End and Godfell are still ongoing. There's still a couple more of each, and they're just well developed worlds, and these really kind of incredible stories that I really enjoyed. And End After End, the thing I like about End After End is it's such I'm so used to like a reluctant hero, it's such kind of an existing sort of trope. But Walt in End After End, I think, is a little bit different because he's so like in the beginning he's so it's like the appropriate level of cowardice. Like he's such like an everyday guy. Like he just doesn't want to participate in like the bigger war that he's been thrust into. He dies on the first page of the book, which is very exciting. But the thing that kills him is he falls onto a train track, and he falls onto a BART train track. And BART is the train system in the Bay Area where I'm from. And so to see BART be the impetus for why this whole story starts in the beginning was a big deal for me, because I grew up on that train going all around the Bay Area, so that was a big cameo for me. Plus my name shows up in issue 2 of End After End. I play a principal apparently.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. DB.
Funny.
I think DB made me the principal of Vault's flashback. So that was exciting.
We used to make like a goblin or something. That's right.
Yeah. Well, then I think I didn't see it, but I think John and I show up in Godfell too. Didn't?
Yeah,
sent us
I saw
something.
that as well.
Yeah, John and I show up in a cameo in Godfell at some point.
Yeah.
Is this like a prerequisite for like getting included in the top 3 comics of the year? You have to appear in it.
Yeah, you put me in. I'm gonna talk about your book. That's the deal.
Put me in, coach.
Yeah.
You know, but that's actually an ingenious publicity move, marketing move. Like I'm gonna put other creators in so they'll talk about my stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I did it. I've done it in the Nasty. I haven't told a lot of them that I put them in there, but like there's a shout out to Tim and to DB on the cover of #1, and Leon and Kangas on the cover of #1, and then John and Kurt and I show up at some point, and then I'm actually on the last book of the Nasty now, where it's John was nice enough to write the whole thing in a crowd scene, so it's just hundreds of people showing up in this book, and I'm gonna be able to slip in a bunch of friends and other creatives.
Okay.
I think the script has something like, I'm sorry, this is the sort of 6th crowd scene panel we've had this issue.
Yeah. Dude, there's something in your script where you're like, oh, you could just make the crowd blurry because I don't want you to have to keep drawing crowds.
No, draw every single person every time. I demand detail.
That's not bad. Now, so you're what you're saying. What all that I heard there was I gotta talk to you, Adam, to be sneaked in to that issue 6 somehow, somewhere. I mean, I've got some. I can send you some file shots or.
Look at that, Sergio trying to insert himself in. You live in infamy in comic book.
I love it, man. Just having my head crushed by
yeah.
You know what I mean? That'd be fantastic. We've already figured right now. What are you saying here? Adam was a train hopper on the bike system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I was on that train. Hopefully, I never have to go on that train again. I've been on that train my whole life.
Bay Area Rail Transit.
Rapid.
Rapid. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know.
It's not that rapid. It's not that rapid.
He's just not that rapid.
It's a slow moving train.
I've heard of it. And when I was in college in Atlanta, they had MARTA moving Metro Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority. Yeah. That's not what we nicknamed it something else, but yeah.
And Steve, to answer your question, buddy, dropping soon. Keep your eyes peeled on the socials for the release date announcement there, my friend. So Vault Comics, with some great books, End After End, Godfall. So I feel like you're a bit of a fantasy fan then, eh?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah? Okay.
Am I?
Okay. I'm gonna have to revisit those 2 titles. I just personally I find it hard for myself to get into the fantasy stuff. But I know
the right fantasy.
I'm sorry?
So you've just not found the right fantasy yet?
Either you're not found the right fantasy. That can go in different directions, John, right there. What kind of fantasy search you're into?
This is also true. That's a whole nother episode though, buddy. Figure drawing asking, did Adam have a bindle stiff? I don't.
Wait, is that like a bindle, like a stick, and like what a hobo has? No, man.
Oh, there you go. The stick.
Yeah.
Answer the.
Is that the official name of that thing? I thought it was a stick with a sack on it.
I'm glad Figure Drawing explained. I wasn't sure whether to throw up that commenter. I'm like, I don't know if that's vulgar or vulgar.
A bindle stiff sounds like, like you've just stood up and you've got a cramp in your knee or something. You're like,
So I got a bindle stiff. Ah, man.
You guys go on. I'm gonna stay behind. I got a bindle stiff.
I gotta handle my bindle stiff real quick.
You guys are killing me here. Dying over here. And then your third picture, Adam, was
Miss Truesdell. So Miss Truesdell is the artist is Jesse Lonergan, who's just right now. There's no one better for me doing sequential art than Jesse Lonergan. He did a book a couple years ago himself called 𝐬𝐻EDRA that he was putting out himself on like large newsprint, which I was very fortunate enough to get. And then Image, it did so well that Image saw it and they decided to put it out as well. When they put it out like it's a normal like graphic novel size comic book. But it's just, his work is remarkable. And, you know, I'm always going to go for Mike Mignola, who wrote this. And it was really, you know, it's very much a Mike Mignola story. So if you're familiar with Hellboy, it's tied into that world. It's very much that, you know, gods and monsters and sacrifice. And it's very much a Mike Mignola story. But he was so sort of generous with it that he gave it's sort of sparse writing for Mike Mignola, and he gave Jesse a lot of room to just play and just run, and because Jesse has so much talent, like he's just an incredible artist, and I think Mignola just kind of gave him room to be himself on this, and it's remarkable. It's just a really beautiful book.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Jesse, you mentioned his previous, what was it called, 𝐬𝐻EDRA?
𝐬𝐻EDRA was the first book I think he put out, and then he put out a little zine I think called Drive. Yeah, he's a remarkable artist.
Yeah, I'm gonna, because I've heard his name. So is that the book that was
reading list?
Oh yeah, man. I'm partly why, you know, I did this. You know, like I gotta see what I'm missing out on these days. Did he do that book? It was textless, no dialogue.
Yeah, that's 𝐬𝐻EDRA. That was 𝐬𝐻EDRA.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And dude, the way he moves your eye around these panels is incredible. Like he has, you know, it's just things I've never seen before that he's doing in his panel work, where you just follow it without the text bubbles, which you usually you lean on to like move your eye through the page. But
yeah,
you know, the way he draws sequences, you're just like, oh, this is where I go. Like,
yeah,
it's just perfect.
I'm gonna check that out. So it makes sense because you're saying Mike this is a minimal kind of text dialogue, so he's allowing kind of Jesse to do it.
Yeah, it seemed like that to me. I don't know if that was his intent, but it seems like that to me. Like you know, obviously there's a lot of story, but not a lot of you know, there's pages where it's just like maybe one bubble or maybe one like maybe a little square of dialogue, and it's just moving through the page.
I dig that though. I dig that. A book that did that really well last year was Righteous Thirst for Vengeance with Remender and
oh yeah, man, Righteous Thirst for Vengeance.
Yeah.
The violence in that book, I was like, the way they depicted that violence, I thought, ooh, okay.
You went straight to the violence. I like the violence.
Hey man, the violence was the best part. You know.
Okay. What is Ian saying here? I feel like that's a UK.
Sausage daughters. I'm feeling wabbit with a flu bug. Off to get me some kip. I understood that completely, Ian. Apologies, buddies. I'm feeling tuckered with a flu. I have to get some shut eye.
I dig it. Clearly that was meant for John, man. I love it. Ian, man, have yourself a great night, buddy. Appreciate it.
Apologies, buddies.
A comic foil saying, I haven't read any Mignola Hellboy universe stories since The Storm and the Fury in 2012. I've probably missed so much great stuff. Oh man, so a solid 10, 11 years, man.
So yeah, I was thinking that's 10 years worth of Magnolia stuff. I mean, and he on like some Todd McFarlane. He steadily put out content, you know.
Yeah, he really has. He's mostly writing at this point. I don't know the last time I saw him draw anything. It's been a while since he's drawn, but he's writing for other artists now. It's cool. Still incredible, and he has such a good eye for creatives and such a good eye for artists to work with.
Yeah, and figure drawing, just back to Jesse. Jesse has a cartoon strip Fluidity, and doesn't miss any lines. Okay, I'm gonna. Well, you know, you sold me, man. I'm gonna check this one out. Yep, I'm gonna check that out. Who do we got next? We've got John.
Yeah, so I've got 3 picks. I can tell you my 3 and 2, and then we'll go to number 1. But I did think out some other ones. So yeah, this is my top pick, but I'll preempt that by talking about my number 3 and my number 2.
Mhm.
So my number 3 comic is the Great British Bump Off from Dark Horse Comics, which is from the Giant Days team of Max Sarin and John Allison. It's kind of like a kind of cozy murder mystery type thing set in the backdrop of like essentially the Great British Bake Off. It's super funny, super charming. I'm like all of that team stuff. I just can't get enough of it. And so yeah, definitely check it out. It's just finished. It's a type 4 issue series. I think the collection will be coming out soon. Second choice, my number 2, is something a little more off the beaten track. It was a Kickstarter that happened earlier this year, and it's one of the best comics of the year. It's called The Berg.
Let me see if I can zoom it there.
It is by co-writers Sarah Peplow and Fraser Campbell. The art's by Gavin Mitchell, and it's lettered by Colin Bell. Yeah, so if you guys want to check this out, it's kind of like a gloopy 80s style creature feature in the style of like The Blob or The Stuff, but it's about like the real life like giant fatberg that's supposedly like floating around in the sewers of London. This idea like all the kind of like trash and like garbage people pour down their sinks is all forming this massive like congealed lump that's just like floating through the sewers like an island, and then this thing gains sentience and starts attacking people. And it's like such a good book. It's like really funny. It's like tense. It's some of the most disgusting things you've ever seen in a comic book. Yeah, so really fun. I'm sure it's available on like online shops now. Like, you know, like you can get it in like Fraser Campbell's online store and stuff. I still think a publisher should pick it up because like it's genuinely excellent, like one of the best comics of the year. But yeah, my number 1 comic is World Tree by the team of writer James Tynion IV, artist Fernando Blanco, colorist Jordi Belair, and letterer Aditya Bidikar. And this is obviously James Tynion's known for doing a lot of high quality horror books, but this is maybe the most frightening one he's done. It's just so, it's hard to describe like the experience of reading this. It's just like it's so unhinged and unpredictable. Like, you never feel safe or like you know what's going to happen next. It just keeps on going off in hard left turns. They kind of throw you off your feet. Like, I remember, for example, it starts off, the very first issue begins with essentially like a mass killing. It's this teenager who's doing a live stream of like walking like house to house in his neighborhood and stabbing people to death. And it's like, and it kind of feels really kind of like grounded and really kind of frightening the way it's done. So you can imagine it happening because it's all like done in the style of like a stream, and you know, like the kind of shaky camera as he's going from place to place, and it's just horrific. And then from there, it goes off in totally different directions where you feel like this kid's been watching something like a dark corner of the internet. It's kind of like, you know, the black web or like whatever they call it, like, you know, like
dark web,
or the dark web. But it seems to be, it's not just that, because actually something supernatural at work. Like as if they found some kind of like in the deepest recesses of the internet, it's like some long buried evil force which is reaching out into the world, and it becomes this kind of multi-pronged narrative of like people that experienced this thing in the past coming back to try and fight it, and it's like this kind of infectious evil that's spreading, and it's just really well done and really kind of tense, and like the action, it's beautifully staged. Like Fernando Blanco's artwork, it's like cinematography, like the way like he stages out scenes and you can see like terrifying things happening, you know, the edges of the frame. You might not notice it first, then you pick it up and people in the background, and it's just such a good book. If you like horror, you really don't want to miss this. World Tree, it's great. So I've read the first 4 issues. I think issue 5 just came out this week.
Yep, it just came out this week. You are correct.
So that'll be like, I mean, again, that's the end of the first arc. So I'm sure there'll be like a collection coming soon to get you all caught up, and it's definitely worth catching up in this. It's my comic of the summer.
Okay. We just lost. He's back.
Adam just left to go buy World Tree.
I'm back. Whatever John said was wrong. This book is terrible.
Nah, hey, hold up. Well, we can't play around World Tree because you know. But I mean,
I heard there was a big something big went down in this latest issue of World Tree, kind of really opening up the universe. Yeah.
Like it the world keeps on expanding, and you keep on like getting like more and more glimpses of like what actually is going on. Because it's kind of like it's such a weird comic because you can get thrown in the middle of it all, like a worm's eye view, where you like you're kind of left to catch up with like what's actually happening here at the same pace that the characters do. But you're kind of getting piecemeal like a larger idea of what's going on and like what might be happening, and it's kind of like frightening the scale. It's almost Lovecraftian, but in a totally different way from you normally expect.
Yeah, I'm with one collection down. I've got to catch up. I read the first two.
For
two or
shame
three.
on you, Sergio. For shame.
I know. I got a newborn. Come on, give me a break.
Yeah. No, but World Tree, because I literally had this conversation with somebody recently. I said, man, look, Tinian from a Nice House on the Lake to Department of Truth to World Tree, he's into these whole creepy world building stuff, but each one is just like more and more creepy and disturbing, And I agree with John because, like, people are on the internet watching weird stuff, so this could actually happen. Like, oh, okay.
It kind of feels like such a modern horror. Like it's like really kind of like it's like so on the pulse. It almost feels like ahead of the pulse. Like we're not going to really see how relevant this is for another year or so.
I'm getting what is it? Is it Ghost in the Machine? That 90s?
Yeah, the manga.
And there was actually a horror movie called Pulse about people like using computers and something was killing them.
Pulse, that's great. I love that movie.
Yeah,
they're really scary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got so John, your top comics were World Tree,
The Berg, and The Great British Bump Off.
The Great British Bump Off. Yeah. And if you don't mind, can you just throw us? I mean, I'm very intrigued by that bird cover. Can you maybe show us some interiors on that bad boy?
Yeah, sure. I
want to check that out. Yeah. Here we go, folks. Getting some great indie content here.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. So here we have like the team finding the giant fat berg. And let's see. I love some of this stuff here where you see like this guy's kind of like falling into the kind of like slop and the shit, and like he's kind of like, oh no, I've swallowed some, and then like then he gets possessed by this thing, and here's a really gruesome bit. So you can see they're kind of getting overwhelmed by this thing, and this guy is, I'm not sure if you can see in here, he's got like a condom stuck to his head, and then he kind of like turns possessed, and they kind of like stuffs it up. Which is like
it's terrible.
Condom stuck to that. Sold. Sold.
I mean, I was sold on. He said it's like the Blob and the stuff. Like the stuff, I still can't watch all the way through for that one scene when Gary Morris gets messed up. But the Blob, which I think just recently celebrated 20 years, is like a horror classic. I mean, like 30 years. I'm like, man, the Blob, people got killed horrifically in the Blob.
Yeah, this is a spicy tape. I think the Blob is one of the all-time great horror remakes. Like in terms of just how vicious it is. Like, that movie pulls no punches. Doesn't matter if you're like small kids, if you're like sympathetic, like characters with like tragic backstories, you will get murdered in gruesome fashion.
Exactly. The Blob didn't care at all. Like, oh, you think the lady going to the phone booth is going, she's trying to call the policeman. The Blob already don't kill the policeman. They're finna kill her too. I'm like, God dang, man.
Yeah. One collection down agreeing with you guys, saying the Blob is fantastic, man.
Yeah, I love that movie, and as I say, the Berg really reminded me of the Blob. Real spiritual cousin to it. So try and seek this book out. It's a gem.
Well, I'm gonna see if I can find the Berg. See if I can get a copy.
I'll do some research for you, and I'll see if I can find if it's on some of their like websites, and I'll send you a link if I can find it.
Oh man, that'd be great, John. That's very much appreciated. Yeah, because that looks super dope. Yeah, I'd like to get some more info on the creators and all that good stuff, man.
That means Sergio going to have them on the show. That's what that means.
Fraser Campbell is a great writer. He did a series. He's like kind of British indie royalty, and like especially in like the crowdfunding scene. Like he did a series called Alex Automatic, which is kind of like psychedelic spy series. And this is kind of his latest thing he's worked on, and I think it's maybe some of his best work. Highly recommended.
Yeah, it honestly looks great. I'm very much intrigued. We're gonna get to our first giveaway shortly, folks. So stay tuned, and remind everybody to comment Han back to school in the live chats to be entered into the giveaway. One of the giveaways. The first one will be for Battle Chasers, store exclusive, signed by Mike Del Mondo. This is limited to 500 copies. And then the second giveaway later on in the show, folks, issues number 1 to 3 of The Nasty by John Lees and Adam Cahoon. Great stuff. And perfect opportunity for you folks to get into one of the year's best horror books. So up next, who do we got? We got Mr. Marquelon Sigler. What do you got going on here, my man? Talk to us.
Oh man, I'm actually on the list. Thank you. All right, so I do more of a mixture of mainstream and independent. So, and I was surprised by this really. So my number 3 was the Incredible Hulk, the new run by Philip Kennedy Johnson, and basically I was a phenomenal obsessed fan for Al Ewing's run Immortal Hulk, and I think Philip Kennedy Johnson took over after Donny Cates, and he was like, I don't know what the hell Donny Cates doing with that Starship Hulk thing, but I'm gonna make the Hulk horror book again, and that's basically what it is. People getting
I'm
possessed.
curious about that. Like, I was going to ask because, like, for me, I read the Immortal Hulk, and like that was excellent. It's like one of the best Marvel comics, or the best any type of comics I've read in like ages, and it was so good. I thought that comic was so great. I kind of feel like I have to just like not read the Hulk for a while because nothing's going to match up to that. Like, so like, how does this match up to it?
It's an excellent start, John. I mean, basically, he was like, "Hey, monsters are coming back, and people finna get possessed, and the Hulk is the monster we're all targeting." That's basically the premise of it. And I mean, like he said, Klein leveled up with one click. Nick Klein shows his transformation art when people are getting possessed and they're changing and stuff like that. Or even Bruce Banner changes. It's horrific. It looks like it hurts. It looks like you're getting possessed by something. It looks like you turn into a monster. Even when Bruce Banner turns into the Hulk, it looks like he's getting possessed and turned into a monster. So that was my number 3 because I could not stop talking about this when this came out. I said, man, the Hulk is a horror book again. Yay.
The Hulk should be horror. I think that's like, that's just a fact now.
I mean, I agree. I mean, but I mean, Al, when we talk about Hulk, I say Peter David, Paul Jenkins for me, one of my favorite Hulk writers, and now Al Ewing, and I mean Philip Kennedy Johnson. He may be entering that link soon. My kind of favorite Hulk writers. Number 2 is from Godhood Comics, The Antagonist, which I think I just talked about last time I was on the show, Sergio. Mm-hmm. This is a book I heard about. It's been floating around on Kickstarter for like years, like 2019, about basically an African-American family of villains that, of comic book villains that have basically kind of like assimilated. Oh, well, we used to be villains and kill people all the time, but now we work regular day jobs. Like the husband is a principal, headmaster of school. The wife is a corporate real estate broker, and their kids have powers in their school. And basically the first issue, the wife kills her boss. Because he basically, well, you know what? I'm not gonna promote you. You're good. Well, you're good making me money. Why should I promote you to make you equal to me, or you can overtake my position? And she basically goes in the parking lot and horrifically murders him. Like, I ain't killed nobody in 10, 15 years, but I'm gonna start back with you today. And that's just how it starts. But it's interesting because they're called, their name is the Eval family, which is evil family. And they're the antagonists. They used to be these big time villains that have kind of gone into corporate hiding, but they about to come out now. And the first issue was great. It's been on Kickstarter for years. Godhood Comics, go to their website and get their issue directly. But now they're back. They're finally in previews and it's going directly to comic book stores. So I finally got my copy to add in my pull list.
I'm gonna have to check that out. Yeah, I mean because you spoke about it a couple of weeks back, and I've been hearing good things about this publisher, Godhood. You're not the first to tell me about him, so
yeah, man. I mean, check him out, man. Check him out. It's a brother out of Atlanta. Been floating for like at least 6 years pushing this, and he's finally kind of getting to that point. And number 1, which surprised me, was another Marvel book, was Blade. Number 1, Blade, that movie that came out in 1998. That's what started this whole comic book movie thing. You need to acknowledge that. That's the movie that did it. This comic book is basically that movie right here. The whole club scene. I mean, this comic book starts just like the movie. Blade is in the club and he's killing vampires. Except he's driving cars. He drives a car into the club. He come out, he kills vampires the most creative way possible. and the art is phenomenal on it. The colors are phenomenal on it. I mean, everything's phenomenal in this book, you know. And he's there to save this girl and go on a mission, you know, which I guess is a mission that she's gonna get possessed by a demon, or he need to take her to do something with the demon. I don't care what the mission is. Is if you like the Blade movie, you'll like this issue right here. That's the best I can say.
Oh, what happened there? I lost the screen there. Uh-oh.
That's it. We went
no,
there.
yeah, I mean, listen, I've got it here somewhere, but you know, based off of your great review there, Mark, I did end up picking up the first couple issues of Blade. Haven't had the opportunity yet to read them because, you know, so babies require a lot of attention. It's
I mean, it's
kind
only
of
a
crazy.
life you're responsible for, Sergio. It's only a life you're responsible for. I
You
get
know,
that.
someone talk to my kid for me, please. It's like 24/7. It's ridiculous. But so I haven't had the chance to check out Blade. But yeah, I'm excited, man, because you showed me like it's got that the vibe of the film, eh?
It does, man. I mean,
Yeah. So I'm right there with Fable 2, man. Yeah, yeah. Excited to dig into. Okay, so your top three: Hulk, Antagonist, and Blade.
all number ones,
Okay.
man. All number ones I read this summer.
Excited to dig in. You know, I'll share my tops. I won't spend too much time on them.
Oh,
'cause
Dwellings was
I
nice.
knew two of yours already.
I'm really excited about Rare Flavors, but I've not read it yet.
Oh my god! So I got I was lucky enough to check out the first issue there, the full issue, and it lives up to the hype, man. I'm a big fan of Rom's work, man. So especially his creator owned stuff. And then so folks, if you're not familiar, Rare Flavors, he's teaming back up again with his Many Deaths of Layla.
Or Andrade?
Yes, Felipe. Yep. The Ash Can, the preview dropped a couple weeks back. Wrote up a little review. It's on houseofnerdshow.com. Go and check it out. But besides that, yeah, man, you know, just honestly, man, just even from the tease, you can see there that he's got like another masterpiece in the making. I don't say that lightly. I love Layla Starr, one of my all-time favorites. Rare Flavors. It's about think Anthony Bourdain meets man. What could I compare it to? It's great. Just check it out, folks. When it drops. I think it's dropping.
Anthony Bourdain meets something great. Sounds
yeah, it's just something. My number 3 pick to go backwards is Dwellings, man, from Canadian cartoonist Jay Stevens, and this was just so refreshing, man. You know, I haven't read a horror book like this in a long time, if ever. And what I really enjoyed out of this one was, you know, you've got this kind of retro animated, you know, art style. You know, think like Casper or Archie books, things like that. But the content is really is gory, man. You know,
That's brutal.
Yeah, it's brutal, dude. Like, there's this fantastic juxtaposition, dude, and it's just like it's just yeah. I'm looking at the art and then the content and stuff, like it's a great blend. And then, you know, I love anything with like a retro feel to it, you know, style. So this was great. Definitely recommend checking out Ani folks. Ani Press has really kind of become one of my personal favorite publishers in the last year, man. They're dropping a lot of great stuff. They've done Xeno recently, and some other things. And then my number 1, probably not a surprise to you, Marquelon. Oh, you're muted, buddy. Marquelon's muted. You're muted. Is that just me?
No,
I can't hear.
I can't hear him.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So while Marquelon's figuring out,
Can you hear me now, Sergio?
There we
Yes,
go.
sir.
There we go.
All right, there you go. I said anything from the team that does that Texas blood, Sergio gonna, that and anything about Ron V, Sergio gonna stand over. He's like, hey, that's it.
I know he wasn't surprised. He's like, oh my god, here we go again. I gotta hear about these guys again. Hey, listen, good reading is good reading, man.
That Texas Blob was my #1 comic of last year, so I was instantly on board for this.
Yeah, John, did you grab a physical of the Enfield?
Yeah,
How
I already read the preview, a digital preview, and I loved it. But it's a whole other level, just getting that physical artifact, the newsprint and stuff. It just really feels immersive.
And that's what it is, man. Yeah. So they printed, folks. They printed the Enfield gang on like the old style newsprint paper stock. So it's got the texture to it. It's got that smell. It's really great. I sleep with this issue actually at nighttime. I like the smell. It's good. It's good stuff. I love the old comic book feels. I feel like you're gonna show me there someday, John. What you got?
No, I'll just put something away. I'll just put.
Okay. And then Jacob really elevating his game on this one, and then Chris Condon's writing tight as ever, man. Tight as ever. And I wanted to include it here in my top 3 comics, but I didn't want to seem biased, folks. Okay, but I'll take the opportunity. The Nasty has been one of the year's not only best horror stories, but just stories in general, man. Here's an opportunity. John, Adam, talk to us a little bit about The Nasty. Hit us with the goods. The elevator pitch for those who might not have read it.
I feel like I've done the elevator pitch, but in terms of talking about why you should read The Nasty, I mean, for me, it's like my most personal comic. And for me, there's a lot of horror elements in it, but for me, it's like a comic filled with love. It's like, if you've ever had something that you just were really passionate about, that even if somebody else didn't understand it or didn't get it the same way, or if you ever wanted to make something, or be creative, I feel that this is a comic that will speak to you in some fashion. And like I say, it's a story with a lot of heart, and I think for me, there's a lot of fondness in it, and I think it's got laughs and it's got a few scares, but for me, the stuff that I like the most is the emotional beats, that Adam has just nailed when he's brought them to life.
Yeah, thank you, John.
I've been throwing the ball to you.
Yeah, I gotta say, the first couple books that I started on issue 3, and 3 and 4 were nice kind of onboarding for me, because things, story-wise and visually are kind of moving at a certain clip. But then by issue 5, you start to see the movie that they're making. The violence picked up a little bit. The kind of the fun, the meat on the bones is there in 5 through 8, and the things I'm getting to draw are just they're just getting more and more fun for me. And as much as I give John a hard time about putting so much crowd in issue 8, and it's all crowd again, it's just crowd. That's kind of, I love drawing crowd. It takes so much, but I like putting personality on background characters a lot, and so I get to do that on every guys. It's every panel. He did not take it easy on me in this last one.
Yeah. I'm thinking if I can come from the set in an arena or something, I can get his job.
I remember I wrote to you on issue 4, and I was like, man, everything's takes place in a video store and a grocery store, which is just so much information to draw. And I was like,
I remember
can your next story be in a mattress warehouse?
Don't worry, the next scene is only 2 people, and it was set in a grocery store where there's lots of stuff in the aisles.
He said it was personal, so those where they're spending his time at. Video store, grocery store.
Just cans of food everywhere.
Hey, but to Adam's falling apart here. But to Adam's credit, man, I love all the details that you throw in. I mentioned it when I had you guys when you guys were on the first time, the posters and stuff like that. All of that stuff. And I mentioned Dwellings has this great, not clashing, but this great juxtaposition between the tone and the content, right?
Yeah.
I could say something similar about the Nasty. It's gory for sure at times, right? It's a horror comic, but there's this charm. There's this charm is the best way I can describe it to the book, to the story. And it's got these great emotional beats, folks. Check it out. I'm gonna
The most
keep it
wholesome a
moving.
comic can be if the first page has someone having a spike pushed through their face.
Yeah, exactly. So we did our comics, folks. Here, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to films.
Ooh, that's right. Oh, I like that they're moving.
Now,
that's clever.
Nice.
I really want to hear from the live chats on this because there's been a whole ton of great movie content dropped not only in 2023 but just in the summertime, man. So let us know in the chats what your favorite films are, and Adam, let's kick it off with you, man. What made your top 3?
So the one I actually just watched the most recently is I think you got him as my number 3 pick. It's They Cloned Tyrone. It's on Netflix. I feel like it's being slept on a bit. It was just incredible, man. I just really like this movie. The story is pretty cool. It's very much like a kind of like a Twilight Zone mystery. You got to figure out, but just like the mood in this movie and like the lighting and the feel, like the atmosphere is just excellent. And I've kind of lived in neighborhoods very much like this that this movie takes place in, and it just feels that way. Like it just like the air and just like the stillness of some of these scenes is just they got the tone down. And then I think the performances from the 3 leads, I forget the actress's name, but the 2 guys are John Boyega and Jamie Foxx, and they're just incredible. It was just a great story, and it was a fun perspective, and it's an easy one to check out. You can check it out on your couch in your sweatpants, and there's no reason you shouldn't. It was just a great movie. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Fiona Paris, I'm sure, was the
Fiona Paris. That's her name.
Yeah.
Her
Fantastic, man. She was the best part. She was the best part.
Man, hey, man. Yeah, Adam, I'm gonna say you got me on this because this should have been on my list. I've actually watched this movie multiple times. And for some reason, I didn't put it on my list. I don't know why.
Dude, it was. Well, I mean, it helped. Like I said, it was the most recent thing I'd seen, and I was on it. Like it didn't leave my brain for like a week. It was just a fun movie. But again, like the tone, the mood, and the lighting was just perfect. My number 2 choice. We probably talk about. Yeah. It's on Netflix. Yeah,
it's on Netflix. Man. We'll watch that.
Yeah, my number 2 choice. People have seen it. Was Guardians 3. I actually really liked it because of how I think Guardians 1 is probably the most fun Marvel movie. But this one has kind of strangely the most emotional beats to it. Like I remember when the first one came out, they were kind of questioning whether or not people would accept a lead character that was a talking raccoon. And in the third one, he's not only is he the main character, but he's the emotional stakes of the entire story now. And it's just like how sad I got, almost tearing up with Rocket's story, and it's a talking raccoon amongst some other like mutated animals. I'm just like, this is why do I feel like this?
So much emotion like in that. Like there's like one scene, I don't want to give it away, like for anyone who's not seen it, but there's like one specific scene in this movie where when I was watching it in the cinema, like literally this moment happened, and it was like a like comical single tear just like ran down like my cheek, and I was like, what an idiot, And then when I was watching it at home again, the exact same scene, the same tear ran down my cheek again. I was like, oh my god.
What they did with this, this cartoon of a story is sort of incredible. It was a nice little piece.
Yeah, you know what? These are all filmed. Well, I've heard about the Tyrone film. Haven't watched it, but now that I know it's on Netflix,
watch it with the baby tonight. Watch it with the baby tonight.
That's an easy one.
With the baby? Is it
watch it with the baby.
Just sit with the baby facing you. The baby can face you.
Okay. Adam's got the experience. He knows what's up, man. But I'm gonna check it out because it's on Netflix. And then Guardians, I haven't had the opportunity to watch, but I keep hearing good things. And Asteroid, it's just one of those.
My last one is Asteroid City. Is just, I mean, I realize that Wes Anderson is a very specific choice. I'm on board with Wes Anderson. If they just, I don't need to see a trailer. If they just tell me he's got a movie out, I'm gonna go see it. I think there's so much arts and crafts in his movies. There's so much like very intentional, kind of handmade aesthetic to his movies that I just, as an artist myself, I just gravitate towards. And I think Asteroid City is perfect. I think it's just a perfect Wes Anderson movie. I feel like maybe if you don't already like him, you might not like this movie as much. But it was another one that just stayed with me. And I left the theater just excited and kind of lit up. And I kind of love everything this guy does.
Hey, you know what? I love the aesthetic, that retro sci-fi kind of. There's a term for that, John. What is it?
Retrofuturism.
Retro. Yes, thank you.
Wow, he came out with a retrofuturism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adam doesn't play around. He knows his shit, man. He knows his shit. Okay, cool. That's a great top three. And then the chats.
I've not seen Asteroid City. Yeah, I really want to see. What was the last movie they did that was like set in the newspaper office?
The French
Dispatch. That was excellent. Yeah. That was amazing.
That was really good. Yeah.
Is this an Asteroid City reference here? A comic?
No, that was like me talking about
Guardians. Yeah.
Okay, I missed it. Apologies. And then who's next? Who do we got here? Boom. John.
Yeah. Well, again, of course. I messed up. I do have a top three that I can tell you. So W preamble leading up to this. So yeah. My number three choice, I'm going to go for something a little bit more off the beaten track. It's a movie called Past Lives, which came out as kind of low-key kind of like romance, not the kind of movie you think that I would be into for all my horror and blood and guts, but this was really emotional and really sweet. It's the story of like these two childhood friends who are like inseparable as kids in Korea, and then like the girl moves to America and they get split up, and then it's like 12 years pass, and then when they're in their early 20s they reconnect like over like a kind of like video call, long distance friendship, and that lasts for a little while, but then that peters out, and then it's like the present day, another 12 years have passed, and now like the girl's married to like, you know, an American guy, and like, you know, our old friend is like visiting New York for the first time, and it's like all this like what could have been, and like, you know, like what could the way life goes, and like it's really emotional, really well acted, really well directed. I think it's the director's first film, but really well done. As I say, I think it came out in the cinema in America in June, so I think it should be in home release now. Worth checking out. Look out if you can. Okay. My number two pick is Oppenheimer. I did the Barbenheimer double bill, and I did like Barbie as well, but Oppenheimer was my jam. I'm a big Christopher Nolan. Oh yeah, Diabolical Nerd agrees with me. Yeah, like I'm a big Christopher Nolan mark. I've loved all of his or most of his movies, and yeah, like I think he's like a strong choice for like the best, you know, active director right now. So anytime, like much like Adam with Wes Anderson, all I need to see is like Nolan's name and I'm sold. But on top of that, I'm also interested in like Oppenheimer and the whole story of the Manhattan Project, because like one of my favorite comics of the past decade was the Manhattan Project. So like I was like recognizing characters from that. And yeah, really fascinating story, well acted. Like, I think it's possibly, I'm not sure it's my personal favorite Nolan film, but it's maybe objectively his best directed film. It just feels like, you know, his most sophisticated work. Robert Downey Jr. gives an amazing performance in it, like totally unlike what you'd think of from Robert Downey Jr. I think he should be nominated for Best Supporting Actor. Cillian Murphy's great as well. But yeah, number one, Across the Spider-Verse, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. For me, like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is like one of my favorite movies. Definitely one of my favorite like superhero movies. One of my favorite animated, or maybe my absolute all-time favorite animated movie. So I was super hyped for this sequel, and it lived up to expectations. Like you know what it's like when you're sitting in the cinema and you're watching, and you're actually sitting here thinking, I'm watching something that's never been done before. Like, this is like a first that I'm seeing. And it's that kind of like amazing feeling. And yeah, like visually, it's stunning. Like the animation is just next level. Some of the set pieces are breathtaking, but it's the emotional core that gets you. It's like the fact that you care about these characters. That's what carries you through more than even the style does. And also, like Spider-Man 2099 is like the standout character of the year. I think he was just awesome in that movie. And yeah, I let out a scream when it ended with to be continued, and now like the wait for the third part is going to be agonizing.
Oh man, listen, you know what? Clearly the chats are right there with you, John. With Spider-Verse, Zack Attack, Across the Spider-Verse is number 1. Figure Drawing saying Spider-Verse def ahead of its time. See for yourself. Across the Spider-Verse is my number 1 as well. You know, yeah, I mean, it really, Diabolical Nerd, again, agreeing with you, another that I enjoyed. Yeah. I think this is going to be a theme today. Is Spider-Verse is going to be in a lot of, if not number 1, in the top, man. I mean, yeah, just fantastic stuff, man. I mean, I don't know what else to add to it.
Yeah, no, it's just really like just impressive craft. Like the first 10 minutes alone, before like it's already better than most movies before you even get to like the opening title card, which is like, you know, it says it all. Just such a beautiful, fantastic movie, and I already can't wait to watch it again. I've ordered the Blu-ray, which will hopefully be arriving soon.
Yeah. So we've got so John, just to round. So your top 3 was
top 3 are number 1, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, number 2, Oppenheimer, and number 3, Past Lives.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check out Past Lives. Okay.
Yeah, I just went and added Past Lives to my watch list. I was in IMDb checking it then. I was okay. This look, it's A24 movie. We know A24 is on a roll right now.
Yeah. And then let's see what it was. Some of the chats. Hip Hop saying Spider-Man, TMNT, and Oppenheimer. Top 3.
I like TMNT as well. That was good. Mutant Mayhem.
TMNT was really, I feel like it's not getting as much love as it should be, man. It was a whole lot of fun.
It was so good. Like I just thought it was so much charming. Like, this is going to sound like an insult, but it's not an insult. I liked how ugly it was. Like, you know, like it just, you know, like it didn't feel like polished and like slick. It was kind of like raggedy and like, you know, kind of like ramshackle, but in a really kind of like precise way, if that makes sense. Like, you know, and like, so I think all of the character designs had so much personality. They weren't just generic or, you know, like whatever. They all had a little something extra to them. And yeah, I think it just felt like just pure mad invention, and that was great. I think like it's the first time in any of the adaptations maybe the Turtles have actually felt like teenagers. And yeah, I just thought it was so charming. It was great.
I love that about TMNT is like they really leaned into the teenager aspect, right?
Yeah.
I think they got like actual 12, 13, 14-year-olds to voice the characters, and that came across very much. Yeah. You know, I thought it was great. I thought it was, you know, one of the summer's gems.
I didn't see it, but y'all selling me on going to get it, you know, because I went movie crazy, so it's like my budget started to catch up with me. But y'all make me want to go see it.
Yeah, no, I mean you gotta watch it, man. Like if you're like, I feel like even if you're not the biggest Turtle fan, it's just one of those. It's just enjoyable. It's entertaining.
And don't listen to like some of the stupidest people on the internet have been like stirring up crap about it and saying like, you know, moaning about April O'Neil, whatever. When you actually watch the movie, April O'Neil has never been better than she is in this movie. Like, you know, it's Ayo Edeberry from The Bear who's like voicing her, like, and she's great. And like, yeah, so like, don't listen to the morons who know it should have flopped because it's woke or whatever. Like, no, it's great. It's fantastic.
We don't listen to them. They're haters. They hate everything that comes out. This is gonna fail because it's woke, and I'm like, so nothing ever can progress. It's gonna stay exactly the same for the rest.
It's funny how the go woke, go broke people just go quiet whenever we hear about the latest box office records of Barbie smashed.
Oh, man. I will agree with you, John Bart. April was great. Diabolical saying I've enjoyed the Pope's Exorcist. I'm not familiar with this one.
That's what Russell Crowe. I actually just watched that.
He's actually talking about the Pope's Exorcist, the actual person. Like he enjoys him as a person. He's good company.
Yeah.
That'd be scary.
But the movie is based on the actual Pope's Exorcist.
5-star Yelp reviews across the board.
Zach Attack coming with us. Bottoms and Strays.
I really want to see Bottoms. It's been getting loads of great buzz. It's not came out here in the UK yet. I'm hoping it comes out soon.
And then he's also enjoying Barbie. Barbie is one I haven't watched yet.
Bottoms. So. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even familiar with Bottoms.
Yeah.
Saying, go ahead, buddy. Yeah.
AU from the Bear, she's gonna be in this one too. Yeah.
It's Iowa DeBerry, isn't it? Rachel Semnio or something, or Semio?
Rachel Semnio from the Idol. Yeah, she's gonna be.
So it's the two of them. I think it's something like they accidentally form a fight club in their high school or something. Okay. It's supposed to be really funny, but it's just not got released date here in the UK.
Man, see, this is I'm having like my list is like no.
Look at it. It's IO Antibody series, and I'm here for it. She is on a rip because she was actually on Abbott Elementary too. So I mean, she's hitting all the points right now. I'm like, dang.
She's great.
Anybody watch Talk to Me? I don't think I'm familiar with that.
Yeah. I watched Talk to Me. I like Talk to Me, but it frustrates me. It frustrates me because these kids are basically using possession as like a party drug. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, why would you want to get possessed?
I don't know if you feel the same way as me, but I watched this and I was simultaneously so frustrated. Like these kids are so stupid beyond
exactly. They're so stupid.
But also, I was like, but if this was real, this is totally what I can imagine teens would do. So it feels credible as well.
And I mean, and John, you're right because it makes sense. Oh, let me go get possessed and videotape it and put it on Twitter and TikTok. I'm like, what's wrong with you? Why would you want to get possessed? Nobody wants to be possessed.
Yeah, that basically for me, like what I liked about it is that. I mean, I think demonic possession stories, whatever, are some of I think that's one of the scariest ideas in horror. I think it's already a bit loads of potential there, but it kind of feels like it's caught in a rut where The Exorcist is one of the greatest horror movies of all time. So every single demonic possession movie is just doing Exorcist cosplay. But this is actually something that kind of came at it from a different angle and did something new with it and fresh. And so I think that was quite impressive.
I really, this is just shot up to the top of my watch list. I mean, Mark, you sold me with demon possession as a party drug. What'd you say?
That's what it's about, man.
It's basically this kind of really creepy, kind of gnarled, kind of hand that's kind of embalmed or something. This person comes across, and you grip onto the hand and you say, "Talk to me," and you see in front of you a dead person holding your hand, and it's and then this person possesses you, and it's this kind of goes viral where people start recording themselves being possessed, and it's there comes this kind of weird thing that this kind of craze going around. But then what happens when someone takes it too far and the demons don't go away after you let go?
I gotta watch this. This sounds great.
I mean, it is, and the actress Sophie, I think it's Sophie Wilde, I think it's her name. She is phenomenal because I mean, she acts her ass off in this. When she gets possessed, you're like, whoa. This girl possessed for real. And the little boy too. He's a phenomenal actress. The little boy who got possessed.
Yeah, he's great in it.
Is this streaming or still in theaters?
Maybe still.
I think it's maybe left theaters by now, but maybe not available for home streaming yet. But it should be soon because it's
so I gotta wait a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna see it. Yeah, you guys have sold me.
My guess is usually with the horror movies they kind of make sure they're ready for home release around Halloween time, so that's coming up soon.
Makes sense. See for yourself saying Gran Turismo was pretty damn good as well. Hey, listen, I just actually went to go watch that the other day. Do you guys have ScreenX in the States or overseas? It's the second and third screen. It's at the side, so it's a more of an immersive.
Oh no, I mean I have never been to it.
So I watched it in ScreenX here, and you know what? I kind of went in there into this movie thinking, we'll see how it goes. But it was surprisingly, it was pretty good. It was entertaining. The race scenes were fun for sure, man. Yeah, if you guys haven't checked it out, I would say
it was kind of like a recurring joke for me and my friends when we were going to cinema. We'd keep on seeing the trailer every single time we went, and it was like there's this scene in the trailer. I'm not sure in the UK if the US trailer is the same as the UK trailer, but in the UK trailer, there's a scene that just comes up in tense writing. This actually happened, you know.
Yep.
And it was like so this became like the kind of recurring gag with my friends. But anytime we did something like Ray Mundane, we'd look at each other and go, "This actually happened."
That's a great way to sell a movie, though, man. Yeah, and I now you know. Okay, it actually happened. True story. I get it. What else do we miss here?
Honestly, I just saw Zack Attack reviews posted, but the biggest underrated film is Dungeons and Dragons, and I think he might actually be correct. That was such a gem.
I enjoyed Dungeons and Dragons. I watched it on Paramount Plus here. You know, let me see this.
Really good movie.
Yeah,
it's the same directors. I'm not sure if you guys ever saw Game Night, which is itself one of the most underrated comedies of recent years.
Game Night was good. Yeah,
yeah. And like it's the same team that did that, and like it's just so funny and so charming, and definitely worth checking out.
Okay, Dungeons and Dragons. So you guys do have ScreenX in the States. See for yourself saying, I saw Quantumania in ScreenX. It wasn't for me. Yeah, it takes
that just wasn't that good of a movie. You might need to pick a better movie.
Yeah.
I think we call it something else here.
You weren't a fan of Quantumania?
I pick his words.
Yeah, it's kind of man.
I enjoy parts of Quantumania. I mean, you know, I'm never gonna hate on these movies because no matter how bad you think these movies are, I can show you movies from the 80s and 90s superhero movies that are much, much worse on every level.
Yeah, I'm a fan of some of those worst movies for sure. Yeah, I liked Kang a lot.
And Kang was the high point of that movie.
Yeah, he's gone. But he was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be like Kang died and went to his home planet by the time we get to the next one.
Nah, Kang is gonna show up in Loki.
Actor is gonna be back.
Nah, he's gonna make it because I mean, for what I've been following that case, you know, Megan Good is his girlfriend now, so that's a plus, you know. And it looks like you know, the person that charged him, they got some problems on her now, so she won't be testifying and all that.
We'll see what happens, but I won't be going to watch it.
It's a mess.
Real quick, anybody watch Joyride? I'm not familiar with this one.
I recognize the name. What's that about?
It is.
I can't say that I know, but we're getting.
It is the movie with all the with Stephanie Hugh.
Oh yeah,
I wanted to see that. That was on my list.
Yeah. I've not seen it, but I heard it was good.
Okay. And Cookie saying Cobweb was great.
Okay, so a lot of people are talking about. I'm in a horror group as well, so like a lot of people are talking about Cobweb with Lizzie Kaplan and old boy that plays Homelander and Boys. Yeah,
Anthony Starr. Yeah, I've not seen it yet, but I think it's coming out in the cinemas here maybe next week or something, or if it's not already. And I want to see it because, like, you know, I love my horror, and this is supposed to be a lot of fun.
Okay.
A lot of people are talking about this movie though in my horror group. Like it's good. Some people are like I hate it. Most people are like it's good. You know.
Well, the description I read is one of these movies that keeps on kind of like pulling the rug out from under you and changing into something else. And like, I think I listened to a podcast called Colors of the Dark, which is like a horror podcast, and how they described it. They said this movie this is like 4 different movies in one, and you're sure to like at least one of the movies that it is. So.
Yeah. Okay. What was that podcast called?
Colors of the Dark. It's a really great horror podcast.
All right, man.
Yeah, John podcasts are in right now, man.
Who's up next, baby? Marquelon, talk to us.
All right, so we got something in common here.
Yep. So my number 3, as many people hate on, is gonna be The Flash because I look forward to going to see it. And I thought about The Flash recently. I was like, man, you know what? It was worth it just to see Michael Keaton as Batman and Sasha Calle as Supergirl. It's on Max now, and I just want to go to that part right there and start from right there and watch those scenes over and over again. So that's why
I kind of feel like even if Ezra Miller wasn't wanted for various crimes, they should be arrested for crimes against cinema for their performance in this movie.
I mean, this is the best performance I've seen him do, but the dude is probably I don't know his proper pronoun. They are.
I mean, like the only performance that should have seen worse than Ezra Miller's in The Flash is the other performance that Ezra Miller gives in The Flash.
But like I said, Michael Keaton Batman, Sasha Calle Supergirl, and Michael Shannon as Zod. I'm like, man, you got Zod back.
Shannon. Yeah,
I mean,
that dude's phenomenal.
People are hating on the movie, but this movie has a lot of good parts, and I'm gonna stick with it right there. This is number 3. Number 2, now see Sergio picked my favorite scene, Extraction 2 on Netflix. This is the most amazing Extraction 2 with Chris Hemsworth.
Okay, yeah.
This movie, this gifts
that clip looks awesome.
Bro, Adam, this is a 21-minute long clip of action, 21 single shot action scene where he's busting somebody out of prison in Russia. This is amazing. Awesome. I mean, I could watch this scene over and over again. Just that 21 minutes right there, breaking somebody out of prison.
Hey, how
now
about
wait,
this much, man?
Hold up here. Hold up here. Zach Attacks Reviews. I was on the fence. I kept going back and forth on this. I kept going back and forth on this. Put John Wick 4 ahead. For one, it came out in the spring, not the summer. So Sergio told us summer movies. 2, John Wick 4 had Donnie Yen in it. And I got to give Donnie Yen that pushes John Wick 4 over. Yeah. You know,
I think Donnie Yen's the only person to ever be in a John Wick movie that was cooler than John Wick.
Yes, John, you get it. You get it, John. He was so cold in that, you know.
Yeah.
But like I said, Extraction 2 is net. So if you have not seen Extraction 2 on Netflix, watch this. It is amazing. And of course, number 1 is going to be Across the Spider-Verse. I was in the movie theater with my phone taping stuff. You know you're not supposed to do that, but I was still taping stuff to post it later on. Let me go back and rewatch this scene right here on my phone. That's how much I love this movie. I'm like, let me tape it with my phone and go watch it after the movie. That's how good this movie is, man. This movie is brilliant. What you said, John, it's like you're seeing something that you know is going to be special. That's ahead of its time.
Yeah.
That sums it up perfectly, man. I'm gonna buy this movie and watch it again. You know.
No,
I mean that scene there that you've highlighted there with him and his mum, like, you know, like it's amazing that a movie that has like traversing across multiple realities and talking spider cars and dinosaurs and all kinds of crazy stuff, that a scene with a kid talking to his mum like can still feel like special and one of the most, you know, impressive things in the movie.
I mean, the movie hits all the feels. I mean, it's a good story. It appeals to many different demographics. You know, what you said about about Miguel O'Hara. You know, you like, hey, you know, he a dick, but I feel why he's a dick. You know, I understand why. You know?
Yeah, no, it's so good. I saw someone in the chat there mentioning no love for Sisu. I just want to say I loved Sisu. I thought it was great, like a lot of just ridiculous action, like one of those movies you're kind of just like whooping and cheering and laughing. But the only reason I didn't count it is because over here in the UK, like it came out in the spring, so I didn't count it as a summer movie.
Okay, see, I've not heard of that. I'm not familiar.
Oh, you'll love it.
Yeah,
just Nazi mashing fun. It's like that. It's set in World War II, and this kind of like grizzled mute. I think it's like is it Polish? Can't remember. But he finds like gold and is like traveling with his gold across this barren wasteland, and he follows a file of various Nazis and dispatches with them in like increasingly gory, gruesome fashion. There's this amazing scene where like the Nazis are kind of like walking through this field, and then like, out of the mist, this landmine comes flying out of the air and just lands on the guy's head.
You guys have got a way to sell. You guys are just straight up selling these things. My folks, keep in mind.
Yeah, we're all on the payroll.
Yeah, and that's my boy Benny J. You know, now Ben will find anything. This dude watches everything and reviews everything. So if he say he likes something, it's good.
Okay.
And I'm gonna hit this one right here. John Wick 4 had the better fight choreography, but the story didn't hold my attention. Was Extraction 2. Okay, I mean, I can see that. You know, I can see that. I think Chris Hemsworth's like, I want to prove I can do something other than Thor. That's what I really think his whole Extraction series is about. You know me as Thor, but I can do stuff differently. I could be like Stallone and Schwarzenegger back in the day. That's what I felt he was trying to do.
Oh, really, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, so Comic Foil saying John Wick 4, bit of choreography, but Extraction 2 sounds like the more entertaining one, which would be agreeing with Zach Attacks over here. And then going back to the, so I'm actually surprised that the Flash made your top. I can see why, honestly. Like
That's
there was
why.
some,
That's why.
yeah. Comic Foil saying, I agree. Keaton and Sasha Calle were the only good parts of the
I'm not
film.
gonna say the only, but they were the best.
And I know. Figure drawing. His favorite part of the Flash was he likes the Flash's running style. He said that many times on the show. What did
I
you
was
guys
rooting against Young Flash because he was stupid. He was stupid.
If anybody watches that movie and says the best part of the movie for me was the baby scene, then that someone should be on a watch list.
The baby scene was enjoyable though, because I was like, oh, look at this, he's playing with babies and microwaves, and how's this gonna end?
Comments like that will put you on the serial killer watch list, eh, John?
Yeah.
Or just like my hit list.
Diabolical Nerd saying, I watched Twisted Metal and I didn't care much for it. Now, this is interesting because I've been hearing a lot of mixed reviews. Like some are saying it's great, and then others are just saying like, they're not feeling it at all. Any of you guys happen to watch Twisted Metal?
It's on my list. I hadn't got to it yet.
Not came to the UK yet. I might watch it because Samoa Joe's in it, but other than that, I've not very much in later.
Okay,
like it's on Peacock here, so I gotta get with my homeboy and get the Peacock subscription. We share the passwords over here until they shut you down.
Okay. And then I'll real quick. I'll do my top 3. So my number 1 was really. It was between Blue Beetle and Spider-Verse. But
this was hard for you, Sergio, because I know how much you love Blue Beetle. I know how much you love Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle is great, yeah, buddy. But you know what? So I went to watch Spider-Verse with my 2 of my kids, and the movie was done, and we were just like blown away. Like the look on their faces. I've got a 20-year-old, even at my oldest, my 20-year-old, my 14-year-old. They're just like, oh my god. That was insane. That was nuts. And we were like fist bumping throughout the movie and this and that, just fully enjoying, Miles Morales, Spidey, and all the great cast of characters. So for me, that's what made it number 1 was that experience. On top of being just a great film, that experience that I had with my boys watching it. But Blue Beetle, listen, Blue Beetle deserves some love. I feel like, man, listen, folks, go and watch this while it's still in theaters. It's criminally underrated.
Yeah. I want to see it as well. I think I've not seen it yet, but I want to. For me, it feels a bit like Blue Beetle is like suffering from like the Dark Fate effect. It's like I'm not sure if you guys remember, but I thought Terminator Dark Fate was actually like a pretty good movie. I
agree with you. Yes, yes.
But because the Terminator brand was essentially in the toilet by that point, nobody wanted to take another chance in a Terminator movie, so they never went to see it, and it flopped. And that was the one that got the blame as being the movie that killed the Terminator franchise, when it's actually a good movie. And I kind of feel Blue Beetle's going to suffer the same thing, where this is seems like a good movie that's been getting positive reviews, seems a lot of fun, but folk are just kind of tired of the DC Universe movies, so aren't going to see it.
Yeah. John, for sure, man. If you have the chance to watch it in theaters, check it out, and curious to hear what you think. I think it just, it's one of the better made comic book movies, not just in the DC stuff, but the Marvel. I think Marvel's been super formulaic lately, and not.
I'm not gonna say that, but I would say Blue Beetle is definitely a fun movie. It brought back an 80s vibe for me. Like when you watch the movie in the 80s, like it was gonna be fun. You want to see the guy get the girl. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna cry. You gonna have a happy ending. That's how I felt Blue Beetle came for that. Because I mean, you got all that in Blue Beetle. Susan Sarandon's been getting hated on for being in it. But she played the ultimate Karen in this movie to me. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get that hate for. I thought she played the Karen, part, to a T, man. She was You know, there's a lot of things there. I think this is just a great representation of the Latino culture. You know, a love letter to the culture, man. Sholo, you know, he was like, what would you say, Marquelon? Nailed it?
Yeah, I mean, Sholo was good. I mean,
I'm a big fan of his in Cobra Kai.
Yes,
of course, you know, everybody loves him from Cobra Kai, and you know, but I mean, he's very likable in this role. I mean, I mean, he's the best representation of Jaime Reyes I've seen. You know, even compared to the comics. And I read Blue Beetle comics. You know.
yeah. See for yourself, saying, yes, a Blue Beetle shout out. Loved Blue Beetle. Let this be a lesson that box office results do not equal quality. Absolutely agree. You guys want to talking about emotional beats? You know, great action. The soundtrack. Listen, the score didn't have to go that hard. Like his theme song, like was really like. I watched it. I watched it again just the other day, and I was like, man, that's a really good score, a really good soundtrack. Action was fun. Check it out, folks. And then my number three pick. So this was a movie that I absolutely went in with no expectations. I just kind of said, let's go see what. I'm not a Mission Impossible guy by any means.
For shame on you, man. How can you not be a Mission Impossible fan?
Listen, one of the best action flicks I've ever seen. Non-stop. This was non-stop, just insane from the like the airport scene to the car chase scene was nuts. And then you had the
I mean, you guys, the clip you're showing, you guys have all seen like the behind the scenes of that.
Yeah, he actually did that.
It's like, if for no other reason, you should go see that movie out of respect for that that scene. Like just him actually making that scene, you're just like, yeah. And then he lands it and he's like, okay, we could do it better. And he does it.
I mean, people like, is Tom Cruise trying to kill himself by doing these stunts? Is, you know, he's like,
I think I blinked. We got to do it again.
He's the American-born Jackie Chan.
Yeah.
I'll tell you though, like,
I thought it was incredible.
I have this thing with Mission Impossible movies. Like, this is good. I've been seeing them in the cinema. Like, I think I saw the first one. I was a little bit too young to see in the cinema. I saw that at home, but the second one I saw in the cinema, and it's like, it seems like every time a Mission Impossible movie comes out, what happens is I go see it, and I come out going, oh wow, that was really. You know, I have no expectations, no hype, and I'll go in and I'll go, well, that was a really great movie. I really enjoyed that. I'm going to remember to be really excited for the next Mission Impossible movie because that one was so good. And then I totally forget about it. The next time one comes around, and I have like no hype, you know. But like Fallout was like so excellent. That was the last one that I finally stuck, and I was like, I'm going to remember to be hyped for Mission Impossible. So I was hyped for this one, and yeah, it was excellent. And I don't know what you think, Sergio, but like for me, like. Just because you put it on your list, I was a bit daunted when I thought, 2.5 hours long. But what I liked is that at 2.5 hours long, it isn't like we're going to throw in a whole bunch of content, a whole bunch of like characters and set pieces. Instead, they just like had a couple of set pieces that really allowed time to let them breathe and really kind of let it in, and that made it kind of really feel like all the more expansive and epic.
Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. Like, it's. You don't have a million different locations, set pieces.
Yeah.
But the ones that they focus on, they're grand in scale and these epic scenes. Yeah. Right? The airport, the car chase, the train. That train sequence, John, I was like, this was one that I wanted to watch with my kid. And when my kid I was there chewing his nails, and I'm there. I don't remember the last time I was like, holy shit. What's good? Like, you know what I mean? Like, fully just, it was so good, man. Folks, check out Mission Impossible, man. I didn't think I would say this, you know.
Yeah, you should be saying this because I love all the Mission Impossible.
Yeah, do yourself a favor to go back and watch them all. They're just surprisingly how well
watch them in order. Yeah. Watch them in order. You'll see the progression of Tom Cruise and his desire to be American Jackie Chan. Like, you know, one of the only franchises continue to be impressed with 7 movies who looking at you, Fast and the Furious. Somebody says Mission Impossible.
I've never seen one Fast and Furious movie. I watched Fast and Furious 5 when it was on TV. And I had this feeling of like, this must be what it's like for a normal person who like comes in and watches like Avengers Infinity War, having never seen any of the things that happened before.
I like this comment. Mission Impossible is the gentleman Fast and Furious. That's great.
No, this coming. Was it this one right here? No, here, this one right here. Fast and Furious is a superhero franchise now. Which Fast and Furious is ridiculous at this point, but I watch it for the ridiculousness of it. Like, and even the actors know it's ridiculous at this point.
I kind of don't even want to watch them. I just want to live vicariously, like through like the trailers and like the buzz about them. I just love this idea there's something out there that existed. The first part of the movie was about like illegal car races, and now it's like they're in space or something. Just...
Yep. The space one is when they officially jumped the shark. And they're like, hey, this is, how are we going to survive in space in the car? Don't think about that.
Well, they've not put sharks in it yet. That's an idea.
Oh man. Yeah, so that's my top 3 there. MI7, Blue Beetle. Go out and watch it. I saw a comment here. Just wanted to throw it up real quick. Benny saying I didn't see Blue Beetle. Oh, it's all good.
I hit by accident. Go ahead. Go back to it.
I didn't see Blue Beetle because the commercial looked low budget. Buddy, the practical effects, the special effects, on point. It's not low budget by any means, man. They really well executed.
Blue Beetle was good. I mean, I would definitely recommend somebody go see it in the movie theater. Man, it's a lot of fun, man. I mean, it is. It's a fun movie. It's like what you go to the movies for, to see, like,
Hey, you know what? I think it's time for our first giveaway here, and then we'll do the second shortly thereafter. So last, I'll give folks another opportunity. If you haven't already, Han back to school in the live chats, and I can see Oscar there. He's trying to get in on this giveaway as well. Thank you, my man. So the first one here is for this bad boy. Store Gotham Central Comics store exclusive, signed by Mike Del Mundo. This bad boy right here. Let me pull up the wheel. See for yourself. I see you, buddy. Let me add you there. Yeah. And I gotta share the screen now, don't I? Man, lots of stuff going on here. Just bear with me here, folks. Can you guys see that?
I can see it.
Yeah. Sick. Okay, so we've got, what do we look like? Looks like we've got 16 entries here. I'm going to give it a shuffle.
Doing better than me.
Shuffle a couple of times. Mark, did you enter, buddy?
Nah, I didn't enter this one.
Didn't enter this one? Okay. Han employees. I don't know. Is that against the regulations in any case? You know?
Yeah. Conflict of interest.
Conflict of interest. Never mind my 20 burner accounts that I've entered in here. Okay, folks. So, again here, I gave you guys the opportunity. We're going to do the first giveaway here. Battle Chaser store exclusive. I've shuffled. And let's click it. Let's spin. What do we got here?
Ooh.
Looks like we got figure drawing. Figure drawing, yes.
Okay,
Congratulations, buddy. You, sir, are the winner. Now, I sincerely hope you're not located in like Japan or something crazy like that. Please don't hold me with that.
So whatever place has the highest shipping, that's what I am.
Yeah. New Zealand, Kiwi, or something like that.
No. Sergio he'd be conscious of that shipping like hell. Work something out for you.
Hey, congratulations to figure drawing, my man. Good to see one of the regulars win this bad boy. Yes. Hit me up, DM or email at houseofnerdshow@gmail.com. I'll get your info and all that good stuff. Folks, we've got another giveaway coming up shortly. The nasty 1, 2, and 3. Let's wrap up our review. We've still got the the TV shows. The TV shows. And let me throw this bad boy up here. I got a screen share. Man, you know, this stuff kills me. This stuff's killing. StreamYard. Gotta make it more user friendly sometimes, man.
You the StreamYard master, because I'd be having the hardest time figuring out how to run it by myself.
Chillmonger's the StreamYard master. There we go. Yeah, there you go. Figure drawing in the house.
All right.
Ooh, these are some good ones.
So, if I'm being honest, the order is incorrect because I put Futurama and Ahsoka on there, and I'm a big fan of those. Futurama is just hanging out with old friends again, and that's really nice. Ahsoka, I'm a little cautious of. I'm a instant fan of Ahsoka anything, so I'm gonna watch whatever they put her face on. But we'll see where this goes. But if we're being honest, and I wish my number one choice was cooler than this, but the thing that I've watched the most and the most intensely is Bluey. If you don't have kids, maybe you're not aware of Bluey or watching it, but you should be. I've got a lot of friends who have no children and still watch Bluey, and it's just a remarkable show. And I can't say enough good things about it. Sergio, I don't know if you're familiar with the show. Oh, hello.
Did Sergio disappear?
Just left in protest.
He left. He's like, no, I don't like Bluey. I'm out.
And of course, I can't control the
You can see his
slide.
feed went a couple of ways.
He'll probably try to come in again. So, what exactly is Bluey about? Because now I'm looking it up. What is it about?
So it's a family of dogs in Australia.
Yeah.
And it's just remarkable. I mean, it's a kid's show, but this, like, my daughter will get up and leave the room, and my wife and I will still watch it, and there'll be like a tear in our eye because we're just like, this is incredible. Like, what is this show doing? There's like 50. There's 3 seasons. There's like 50 episodes per season, but they're all like 8 minutes long, so you can get through a chunk of it. But they're just like the emotional beats. Like, there's so much joy in this show. And just like the connection of this family and their friends, it's just remarkable. It's just a quality show. I can't say enough good things about it. You won't watch this and be like, nah, it's fine. Like, you'll be like, oh, that just feels wonderful. Like, there's so much like heart and love in this show. And it just visually it's just really well done. And I just learned this week that the entire palette of the show is in the spectrum of colors that dogs can see. So like all the colors they use are like colors that dogs can actually see. So apparently there'll be like a dog will be walking by the TV, and it'll just stop and look at the TV for a minute, wag its tail, and then move on, because like they can actually see this show. Sergio's back. Yeah, and there's so many like inside things in this show that are put in for grown-ups. Like the 2 parents, their jobs are the dad is an archaeologist, and the mom is a TSA dog. So a dog that digs and a dog that smells. Like, both of their jobs are like specific to like what dogs would be doing anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I can't say enough good things about Bluey. And I like I said, I wish my choice was cooler. I'm sure John is going to put something interesting like Secession in there. But really, I spent so much of my life watching Bluey at this point that
everyone, like all my friends who have kids, say that they love Bluey, and like they're kind of like sad that their kids are getting older and not watching it anymore.
You still can. You don't need the kids for this.
Adam's getting mad love. This is top tier pick right here. He said Bluey.
Bluey's
Zach
number 1.
saying Bluey's a juggernaut. There you go.
Yeah, it's a beast.
So Bluey's number 1, and what was number 2?
Bluey's number 1. I'd say number 2 right now would be Futurama, because they've had some solid episodes already. Ahsoka is leery. We'll see how it goes.
I mean, I watched both Futurama and Ahsoka, so yeah, I mean, I agree with you on those, because Futurama picked up exactly where it left off, like exactly.
Yeah. It didn't miss a beat.
Adam, we got a comment here. See for yourself saying, I saw a short about Bluey being showed that get into existential crisis.
It might be. It might cause existential crisis because your life is not as good as theirs somehow.
Okay. And then Chillmonger, he's digging the Ashoka. Is it Ashoka or Ahsoka?
Ahsoka.
I say Ahsoka. Yeah.
Ahsoka love.
I dig Ahsoka. I mean, I before I went to Atlanta this weekend, I watched Ahsoka, and I'm like, I dig Ahsoka, because if you watch Rebels or Clone Wars, I mean, it amazes me because nobody cared about Ahsoka. Like, people were like, who the hell is this Ahsoka chick? Anakin had a Padawan. I remember people were literally talking about this, and now we're to the point where Ahsoka has her own show. People care about her.
I just feel like Andor spoiled like all other Star Wars for me. Like I love that so
John,
much.
I
Like,
think 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
I'm in the minority here on Andor.
That's why I'm. That's why I'm kind of like cautious about Ahsoka, because all I want is more Andor. That's all I want. Andor has ruined every. The Star Wars from here on out. I just can't be Andor.
This Andor. I just can't on this Andor. I'm on episode 5, and I just have yet to get past it, man. And maybe because I like Star Wars for the laser swords and the force powers. Andor don't really have that.
And Andor for me is like I remember when Batman the Animated Series first came out, like I was ruined for animation for a while because it didn't look like that. Like I remember watching it on TV when it first aired, and I was like, oh, it's different now. Everything is different now. And I feel like Andor's kind of done that for me for Star Wars series.
See, this is why I invite these gents onto the show, because
Sergio always trying to sell me Andor, and I'm like, look, I'm gonna finish it, man. But like I see somebody in the comment had about Star Wars Visions.
You need to watch the prison stuff and see that's just
that prison arc is
oh my god, absolutely. How great is who's the actor?
Is that episode 6? Because I'm on episode 5.
Oh, Andy Serkis. I think the prison. I think the prison is 4 through 6. I think,
all right,
right?
so
4,
I must
5,
be in the
6.
middle of it then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, Adam, I'm right there with Adam. Andor is for me easily the best Disney Star Wars content we've gotten, and it's not even not even close. That and Rogue One, just
I mean, I like I love Rogue One, and just Andor, and I mean, Rogue One is so good. The ending of Rogue One is probably one of the best Star Wars endings of all time.
Yep.
You never gonna die, but you saw how they died. You saw Vader in his full glory, F everybody up. Like, I'm gonna show y'all.
Can I get one of the moderators in the chat to ban this chillmonger guy over here? I don't. What is this guy saying? Andor is melatonin with a $200 million budget.
Chill. We together on that, man. Because I told you I've had problems.
Listen. But you guys are killing me here.
But I mean, I if you like Rebels, you'll enjoy Ahsoka. I mean, people. I should have watched it. They should have told me I should have watched Rebels before I watched Ahsoka. I'm like, man, it ain't like you got to like religiously watch Rebels. They basically explain everything. This is what happened. This is what we picking up at. All
right, Mark. We're gonna have a talk after. We're gonna have a team meeting. We gotta get on the same.
We can meet all day. My answer's gonna be the same.
Shout out to Black Crown Comics who's joined us. House of Nerd Gang, what's going on? Hey, my man, be sure to comment to be entered into the giveaway. Black Crown saying, fuck not Bluey. My kids watch this shit religiously. I can hear the theme song now. Look at
we can say fucking this. That's great.
Oh man.
Especially in the context of Bluey.
Yeah. Zach Attack saying Andor is good but too slow. Watch your mouth, sir. It's called pacing.
Be avoiding Sergio's fist too slow if you start talking about it.
And don't get me wrong, I like Star Wars. It's comic books. I'm a Trekkie more than a Star Wars fan. But I mean, I like Star Wars. But I love Star Wars. I liked Obi-Wan, and especially with the fight in Obi-Wan. But I'm primarily, I was that kid that George Lucas marketed Star Wars to. Like, oh, laser swords and that right there. All this
swords and space wizards.
Yes, that's it. If it ain't that, I'm like,
Oh man, we got some more hot takes here. Andorra was weak to me. Andor was weak. Come on, man.
You're weak.
He said, you're weak.
You can't even spell it. You can't even spell it.
You're not gonna come into this house and talk shit about Endor, okay?
We're all just gonna fight. We're gonna fight the comment section.
Fuck
you.
I'm like, hey, y'all do what y'all need to do over there.
Marquelon, you've got an ally here. Figure drawing saying I'm with you. Star Trek greater than Star Wars.
Hey man, I'm just saying, the
That's a different
corporations
podcast,
relying. The corporations, Paramount's relying on Star Wars. I mean Star Trek, and Disney's relying on Star Wars and Marvel.
Yeah.
This is prop this stuff up now.
Just real quick, figure drawing. Yeah, shoot me a DM on the socials, Twitter, IG, or you can email me at houseofnerdshow@gmail.com and give me that address. Yeah, so okay, great. I gotta check out Futurama. We don't get Hulu up here in Canada, so
You don't get Hulu in Canada?
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. I gotta figure that one out. And then I might have to check out Bluey. It's I feel like it's brought up some raw emotions here in the live chat. So
that and Andor, because you see this comment right here, Star Trek Picard is better than Andor, and I know y'all ain't gonna argue on that.
I can only take so much slander there, Zach. Take it easy, my friend. Who do we got next? We got John.
Wow. Okay, again, I have a top three.
The bear.
Okay, so off the cuff, right? Number 3, for me, I saw a couple of people mention Poker Face. I almost included that as my number 3 because that's excellent too. Check that out if you haven't. But my actual number 3 is a series called Jury Duty, which I'm not sure if any of you guys saw.
Oh yeah, is that the
it's
one with
kind of like a kind of mockumentary comedy, and the setup of it is it's this guy, a real guy, Ronald, who has a documentary crew following him as he goes through experiencing jury duty for the first time. So he's like selected as a juror and he goes through this trial. But what Ronald doesn't know is that he's the only real person in the show. Everyone else, the jurors, the court staff, like the witnesses, like the defendant, the lawyers, all of them are actors. So essentially it's like it gets increasingly crazy and surreal as like this guy's reacting to all this stuff going on. And it's like you have like the actor James Marsden's like one of the jurors and he's like a total asshole and he's trying to get out of it the whole time. And like it's quite what I really like about this show is that you could so easily see it going one way, which would be super cringe and like super like, all these weirdos and like, Ronald acting like all thrown off and like kind of like weirded out. But instead they chose the most chill, compassionate, open-minded, big-hearted guy. And like, so every single time, for example, there's this weirdo that kind of like makes all his own inventions and stuff and does all this like, like eccentric stuff. And like Ronald, like instead, like feels really sorry for him and like shows him a copy of A Bug's Life in DVD and says like, that's like you, like, you're just doing your own thing and you're being inventive. Don't let anyone else talk down to you. And because like they're all improvising, like the show becomes more wholesome as they're reacting to how he's reacting to them. And like, I just think it's really nice and really interesting and really fun. So definitely worth checking out. That's Jury Duty. My number 2 choice, Adam called it, was Succession. I've been watching Succession for years and I never got around to it. Then when this last season came out, I just like binged the whole thing and just like watched the first 3 seasons in quick succession, leading up to like
quick succession.
Let's
play on words, right?
Succession, I just got that. And then season 4 is just great. Like, it's just like these characters are just like awful, the absolute worst. And I thought there's no way I'm going to watch a show with these like monsters for 4 seasons, but I did. It's car wreck compelling, and the best way to watch it is knowing that they're all horrible. You're not going to root for anybody, but you're going to have a good time watching them all stand each other in the back. But my number 1 choice is The Bear. Absolutely excellent. Season 1 was great. It's about this guy Carmy, who is the bear's in there. So Carmine or Carmy is this kind of like superstar chef in New York who comes back to run his brother's kind of like low rent sandwich shop in Chicago after his brother commits suicide. And like, so he wants to take over the family business and he struggles. So that was season 1's arc. And now like at the end of season 1, they came onto a ton of money and decided to use it to kind of like reopen the place and kind of like rebuild it as like a high class restaurant. So season 2, the whole of season 2 is just the path towards them opening up the restaurant, essentially. And like some of the episodes here are just like some of the best single episodes of television you'll ever see. There's one episode which is like like a flashback to like, you know, Christmas from several
Christmas
years
dinner.
ago.
Yep.
And it's like one of the most stressful things I've ever seen. I feel like I was having an anxiety attack watching this thing. Like, it like feels like I don't want to insult my own family by saying that it reminds me a lot of like some of my like family Christmases, but, but I did get certain like parallels. And it's like one of these things where like everyone's talking at the same time, and you just feel it's like you're right in there, and it feels super stressful. But then after that, the very next episode after that is a total like switch around. There's this total bam for the soul. It's one of the most uplifting, beautiful things you've ever seen. Where this guy you see on the right hand side of the screen, who's like super miserable.
Who's from Andor?
Yeah, I forget the character's name.
Cousin? You talking about cousin?
Yeah, his cousin. Cousin something.
He's a cousin.
It is Richie, cousin Richie. Like, you know, he's like this pure miserable, cynical. Like, he just like, you know, burnt out, and the whole time he's convinced that like Carmy wants to get rid of him and wants to push him out of the restaurant because he was like his brother's friend, and like, you know, he's a bit of a deadbeat. And then there's this one episode. I'm going to spoil it a little bit, so if you don't want to know anything, like cover your ears. But so essentially, this episode like focuses just on Richie, and he gets sent off to this other restaurant, and he just has to like, clean forks doing mundane work, and he thinks that he's been like shunted off and sent off like to like, you know, be got rid of. And then he realizes over the course of this thing that he starts learning how like the restaurant works, and he starts like learning these other things. And he realizes that is like that Carmy wants to make him the front of house guy, and like wants to teach him how to run a restaurant. And you see like that just like someone giving him like this like little ounce of belief that no one's ever given him before just makes him open up, and like, and it's like a flower blooming, like, you know, when he takes this like a fish to water, and it's like super inspirational, and it's like, you know, like your heart swells when you're watching it. And that's really like the theme of the whole series. It's like the whole cast is a bunch of people who are kind of like downtrodden, they're kind of like wash-ups, burnouts, like, you know, losers, and a lot of people would just dismiss them. But every single time any one of them is given like just a fraction of belief or a fraction of an opportunity to do something, they just like take that and run with it, and you're just rooting for all these people. It's the opposite of Succession, because you just love all these people and die for any of them. And yeah, just like it's total bam for the soul. Like, it's like super short episodes, half an hour or less. You could tan both seasons in like a day. And you should, because it's just stunning television. Season 1 was one of the best shows of the year.
Yeah.
Now with season 2, I think it's entering like the conversation of like best shows of the decade. Genuinely excellent, really good. I love it, and I think you'll love it as well.
And you know what, John? I've been hearing a lot of the same sentiment. I haven't watched season 2 yet, so I'm
hold on, Sergio. You and Elle made fun of me for not watching The Bear. I have gone back and watched both season 1 and 2, but you ain't finished season 2 yet.
Again, newborn dad life. You know what? Just for that, I'm gonna neglect my child today, and I'm gonna binge season 2.
No.
Sergio, to that point, I unfortunately have to go. I have to get my daughter to my mom's house.
Okay,
so
okay.
I have to back out, man. I apologize.
No.
Right.
Thank you so much, Adam, for joining us, man.
Go watch The Bear, Adam.
Yes.
I'm actually going to watch The Bear right now.
Yes, Adam, go watch The Bear.
Season 2. Sergio, let me know about the giveaway, and I'll get those out. Whoever the lucky winner is.
Buddy.
All right.
Bye.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
But I digress, Sergio. Continue your excuse on why you didn't watch The Bear season 2.
You know, I've been hearing everybody raving and ranting about season 2 on socials, and hearing John, and I'm getting slightly upset because I haven't been able to watch it yet. But what's got me excited, like John, you said, season 1, one of the best shows of last year or whenever it dropped, right? And I keep hearing season 2 is even better, man. Which is like,
as great as season 1 is. And I went back and rewatched season 1. I loved season 2 so much. But see, and it's so what's so great is this is like the craft of this show. Like, there's stuff that I didn't even realize until I went back and rewatched, like little throwaway lines, like in the start of season 1 that aren't actually paid off until season 2, and you go,
You're
"Oh my
right.
god, we're bringing it full circle all along," and it's like really impressive.
Yeah. So I'm excited to I'm excited to dig into it, and then I see, excuse me, I see for yourself. You're saying he actually changed his rankings. So he's
I
got
sold
the
on
bear,
it.
Poker Face, and Star Wars. Initially,
Star Wars Vision season 2. You got to get it right because I've watched that. That's
Oh,
good.
what did he have? Initially he had Mando, Ahsoka, and Andor. So
I
I'm
think that
gonna
was
make
just
a
the
ruling
rankings of
here.
Star Wars shows.
Yeah, Andor's got to be in the top 3 somewhere. So I can't allow.
That was
this-
last year, though.
Oh, this is true.
Yeah.
Very much true, John.
So yeah, there
Very
wasn't no
much true.
Mandor, wasn't no Mandalorian, wasn't no Andor. So yeah, so you
Yeah.
got to go with what he got right now: the Bear, Poker Face, and Star Wars Vision.
And Benny saying, "I better ration those bear episodes." On second thought, writer strike delaying everything. Yeah, that's true.
And y'all talked about the Bear so much, and I used to work in a restaurant, so I mean, the anxiety stuff, I get it, but it's like that is what it's like working in a restaurant. I've worked in like fast casual and
Yeah,
upper casual. Now fine dining, that's a whole different beast right there.
Yeah.
yeah. And for those who haven't watched it yet, I mean, John, you're not exaggerating. Season 1, I had to take breaks between episodes. It was that. It
Yeah.
was anxiety
I
inducing,
mean,
man. It was
I
just
say it's short episodes, but you couldn't last longer than like 25 minutes watching that because it's like that much in your heart,
Yeah, I binge like 2 or 3 a day to finish it. So I don't know what's wrong with me, but I mean, it brought back definitely memories of working in a restaurant for me. And people in a restaurant
Mhm.
will talk to you and yell at you any kind of way to get that food out. Like,
Mm-hmm.
get it out, corner.
Yeah. So next up, we've got, I believe that's you, Marquelon. Let me add that back. Boom, there we go. Your top 3,
Boom.
baby. What are we talking about?
My top 3. I'm proud of this pick. This is diversity right here. So number 3 is Hijack, which I had no idea I was gonna like so much with Idris Elba in it. I thought this was a movie. I literally did because the way Apple TV advertised, watch Hijack with Idris Elba. This turns out to be a show where he's a negotiator flying from Dubai to London, and the flight is hijacked. And so you don't know what's going on most of the time because told from his perspective, but then there are people on the ground he's trying to contact with. You got people in Dubai on the ground realize something's wrong. People in London realize something's wrong. You got the hijacking story, and every episode basically ends on a cliffhanger. And the first episode basically ends where he gets the gun from one of the hijackers and gives it back to them, like, "Hey, I want to help you do what you need to do because I want to make sure everybody gets home safe." He gets the gun from one of the hijackers and gives it back to them. I was like, "What the f is this?"
Plot twist. Okay.
Right. So
Okay.
you're like wondering. Part of the show is like, is he a good guy or is he a bad guy?
Oh, okay.
And then you're wondering like, what's gonna happen? Who's gonna get killed? So I mean, definitely, if you're looking for something that's gonna have a cliffhanger every week, check out Hijack. Number 2.
Sorry, Marco. What streaming service is that on?
That's on Apple TV. Apple TV.
Apple TV. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay.
Apple TV. Number 2 is motherfucking Warriors back. I love Warrior. I was so happy Warrior came back for season 3, man. It is based on the writings of Bruce Lee. Basically, I'm not sure I've heard a story that, basically Kung Fu was supposed to be Bruce Lee's show, and then David Carradine got cast in the role.
Yep.
Well, Warrior is what Kung Fu was supposed to be, where basically the premise is this guy, Assam, comes over to San Francisco, late 1800s, to find his sister who got married, sold into sex slavery, basically. And he ends up joining a gang where they call him a tongue in San Francisco. And basically he ends up finding his sister is now the ruler or the leader of the rival tongue to his tongue. And they're basically dealing with the Irish, the Irish people trying to find their place in San Francisco, getting displaced by Chinese immigrants. And there's a lot of racism, a lot of fighting, a lot of politics. Yeah, Warriors back. It just finished season 3.
Oh, they're in 3 seasons already, eh?
And I'm about to sign a petition for the 4th season. I'm about to sign a petition for the 4th season. It is one of the best shows.
And Benny
He's
agreed.
like, the Warrior.
He's like, yes.
Man, I gotta watch Warrior, man. It's some of the best martial arts you will see on television today is in this show.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, man, hands down. And number one is Swagger. So if you're a basketball fan, American, this is based on Kevin Garnett when he was in AAU basketball, the Amateur Athletic Union,
Yeah.
set in Baltimore, based on when his experiences growing up getting on an AAU basketball team. And I mean, if you like Friday Night Lights, that kind of sports drama, you will like this show right here because basically these kids, the first season covers on that they're like in like middle school going to high school. This is their senior year. And they all got that pressure on them, man. I mean, the basketball itself is good when they actually show the games, but the behind the scenes stuff of like, how do I avoid going in jail? Or what happens if I get my girlfriend pregnant? Or what happens if I don't get a scholarship? Can I walk onto a team? Or hey, we're in this prep school, but we're the only black people in this prep school. I mean, it's a full gamut of what's like a lot of NBA's player experience on trying to make it. Because if I make it into the NBA, I can get my mom out the hood. I get my mom out the projects.
Right.
I mean, this is one of the best shows I've seen on TV that just captures like athletics, diversity, African American experience in a major metropolitan city. It's also on Apple TV, man.
It's on Apple TV. Oh, I was just about to ask. Okay, you know what? And I have
He's
seen it.
low-key got some real gems on it. Like Shrinking was great. I'm loving the After Party right now. Like, there's a lot of good stuff on there.
Yep, it is. Apple TV is a silent killer. They like, hey.
Yeah.
So I'm curious your opinion, John. Have you seen Silo? Have you guys seen Silo?
I watched the first 2 episodes of Silo and I kind of lost interest in it. A lot of folks say it gets great, but I was kind of struggling with, like, every single time I was getting used to a main character, they'd die and someone else would take over. I'm like, well, who am I investing in here?
Yeah, and folks in the live chats, if you've watched it, curious to hear, because Silo's one of those that, I'm seeing mostly positive stuff. People are kind of raving, and I don't get it. I tried watching, and I watched, I think, the majority of season 1. I think I want to say maybe the first 7 episodes or so.
Silo was on my list. I hadn't got to it yet, but I'm gonna tell you the show that surprised me most, because like I said, I was watching Swagger and I was watching Hijack.
Right.
Damn, it's not Succession. It's what's it starts with
Severance.
Severance blew me away on Apple TV. I was like, wow, I had no idea the show was gonna be this good.
Now, top tier. That actually made was my number 1 show last year. Severance is. I've said this plenty of times. I'll say it again. Some of the best television I've ever watched. Period. I mean,
Severance definitely drew you in. I mean, you were like basically what, and I think John just mentioned the After Party. The After Party, I love season 1. Season 2 is taking a while for me to grow on me. I'm an episode behind. I'm behind.
I was the same at first, but I think now I'm up to date in season 2, and I think it may actually be better than season 1. It took a while to get there, but I think it's really built up for me. I
agree, John, because what I've noticed is that the later episodes in season 2 are getting progressively better and better and better. And I'm okay, an After Party. And I think next week I already got The Changeling, Victor LaValle's novel.
Yeah, no, I've had the book sitting for that for about a year in my house. I need to start reading it before the series comes on.
That is a brilliant book, man. My book club read that years ago.
I'm gonna really have to apologize. I'm not sure if you can hear, but my dog is like sitting here crying because he wants out. So I might have to take him away for a walk now. But
go.
What's Oscar saying? How are you doing, Oscar?
He's actually sitting like scratching the door, like desperate to go. I think he's. I may have to take him, but I may have to head off, guys. But I really appreciate you, inviting me on. I really had a good time chatting TV with you. But anytime you want me back, please let me know.
Oh, John, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, man. Always love having you hang out with us, and definitely we'll get you back on to talk more of your works. And
the announcement for the announcement tomorrow, Labor Day. The announcement's tomorrow, right?
Keep an eye on the socials for Labor Day. Something big's happening.
Looking forward to that, John. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you so much for hanging out.
Bye, guys.
All right, bye, John.
There you have it, folks. John Lees, writer of The Nasty, and of course AWA's Hotel, man. It's great stuff.
Wait, John, on Hotel too? I did not know, man. I love Hotel.
Man, Yo,
Bro, I did not
my
realize he
boy.
wrote Hotel. Hotel was good, man.
Come on, bro.
I don't know why I didn't know that. I'm sorry, John. So I apologize.
Oh yeah, man.
Because
Hotel.
I had listed Hotel as like one of my best horror comics of whatever year it came out. Because there's a Hotel 1 and 2, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, Hotel. The first volume was some of the best horror stuff.
Yes, man. Hotel was
Oh, man.
fire, man. The Hotel was really good.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely. Yeah, folks. We're gonna do the giveaway very, very soon in just a second. And absolutely, Marquelon got caught slipping, bro, big time, bro. Come on, now.
I mean, because I was reading the Nasty currently, and
Yeah.
sometimes, but I really enjoyed that, especially when I get in my horror. I mean, I recommend that all the time. I recommend that, Silver Coin, and Creep Show.
Mm-hmm.
Because I love those kind of like anthology overarching things. It definitely is one of the best I've seen.
Oh yeah, yeah. I agree. AWA is gonna put out heat regardless, right? What we were talking about. I was asking about the silo. So, like Benny saying silo was fire. I don't know. For me, I couldn't get into it, man. I tried. There's certain elements that was very intriguing, but I think I don't know, something was off about it. I don't know if it was the production level or the writing, the acting. It just so I didn't end up finishing it. But I know a lot of folks they're digging it. Excuse me.
But what was the comment? Yeah, Apple TV has some of the best shows. I mean, but then somebody also said, and then they said they need more content.
Yeah.
But then look what the next comment is below that.
That's why the quality appears too bad. They have a few shows. True. Hey, quantity over quality, or quality over quantity, right? So
I mean, because what the number one streaming platforms were Netflix, followed by what Amazon, Disney, probably Amazon, Disney.
Yeah.
And then Paramount Plus, Peacock, Apple TV, probably that mid tier at this point.
Yeah.
But then you got
content.
But then you got stuff like is this you, Sergio?
It's me, baby.
Look at you, Sergio. What you got, bro? Tell us what you got.
I'm gonna keep it quick because I want to get to this giveaway, man. Listen, I would have put 𝐬𝐸 as 1, 2, and 3. It's that fucking good, man. And it's not spoken about nearly as much as it should be. So I'm kind of cheating with this pick. 𝐬𝐸 came out, I want to say, late 2022, December 2022, but I only watched it a couple months ago. And this for me is easily one of the better shows I've watched, in not only this year but in the last several years, man. So it's a German produced show. It is in German, but you can watch it with the English subtitles.
Okay.
And it's set in 1980s Cold War, Berlin, right? So near the fall of the wall, right? So like I want to say 87, 88, something like that. It's set in. But it's basically a spy espionage with a good dose, with a healthy dose of comedy mixed in. The acting, is good. This is well, she's German, so I'm not going to be familiar with her, but the lead actress is great. But for me, the biggest thing with 𝐬𝐸 was the production design, the set pieces, the set dressing was no word of a lie, man. Just magnificent. Like I know you guys can't see it, but like on a it's very small, but just search up images or clips, man. Just the production design is gorgeous, man. They've got these lush, vibrant colors to it that really kind of just emphasize this tone, and it gives it a really stylized aesthetic and feel to the entire show. But great stuff. So you got spies in Cold War Germany. It's super funny, man. Super funny. If you're gonna watch it, I definitely recommend watching it with the subtitles. Watch it in the German language, because then you're gonna retain a lot of that, like the performance, the emotions from the performances, right? But I can't, man. It's so good, so good. Every episode just blown away. I couldn't believe it, man. Just gorgeous, gorgeous to watch.
All right, so I've added 𝐂𝐸 to my list, and it's on Netflix, right?
Yes, it's on Netflix, man. So it's an easy watch. And Figure Drawing saying, yeah, I keep forgetting about 𝐂𝐸, my guy. I promise you, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it, and you're gonna be blown away by like I said, the set decorating and all that stuff, man. Yeah. We've got some top lists here. See for yourself saying my favorite horror comics. 1, Nail Biter.
Okay.
That's from Williamson, right? Joshua Williamson.
Yeah, that's Joshua Williamson. Yep.
Revival.
That's Tim Seeley. I know
Tim
that.
Seeley.
Yep.
And Something is Killing the Children.
That's James Tynion IV.
Yeah. Marvel Zombies, excuse me.
I mean, any Marvel Zombies. I think Marvel Zombies 4 was the best one, where they had the supernatural kind of people. And number 5, Deceased, Tom Taylor.
I feel like you've probably read all of those, Marquelon.
I have read. I started Nail Biter, hadn't finished it. Revival is on my list.
Yeah.
Something's Killing the Children. Going back to my comment about Tynion earlier. Something is Killing the Children. Basically Tynion got famous on Batman and then like bounced, like I'm gonna do my own stuff.
Yeah.
And Something is Killing the Children is like his first breakout independent book. I mean, breakout, like got spin-off titles and all that stuff. But really, if you like Something's Killing the Children, I would definitely say check out World Tree. No, I would say check out Nice House on the Lake first. Then I would go to Department of Truth second, and then World Tree. I mean, definitely that. I mean, Tynion is killing it.
He's killing the horror game. He won
the Eisner for, I don't know what he won the Eisner for, but he was nominated for so many books. I kind of knew he was going to win, especially as you didn't vote for Rodney Barnes.
I think he ended up winning the Eisner for best writer, eh?
He did win for best writer,
Yeah. So look at Something is Killing, Nice House, World Tree. I mean, just like, damn, bro. Like,
I mean, Department of Truth. Him and Martin Simmons on Department of Truth. Department of Truth is killing it. I mean, the only thing I worry about with him now is like, when is he gonna finish the stuff?
Yeah. And then just real quick back to my top 3 shows. Rounding out my top 3, Ted Lasso season 3. I thought that was really good, man.
But Ted Lasso is always good, man. I mean,
it's a gem, man. It just makes you feel good. It's good storytelling.
Exactly.
I feel like we're missing content like this in media. Just good feel good stuff, right? But like, it's also like real, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not just like cookie cutter, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree. Yeah. So let me ask you, Sergio. In Canada, did y'all watch Andy Griffith? Did y'all have Andy Griffith air up there?
I've never watched it, but I'm familiar with that stuff. Yeah.
So to me, Ted Lasso is cut from the cloth of Andy Griffith, because you go back and watch old Andy Griffith episodes. It is a very well written, well produced show. But the main thing was Andy was the straight man, and the other characters like Barney were the funny people. But if something happened to them that would embarrass them or make them feel bad, he would go out his way to make them feel good, or make sure they didn't run of an embarrassment.
Yeah.
And to me, a spin-off Andy Griffith was Gomer Pyle, and Ted Lasso was a modern day take on Gomer Pyle. Somebody who everybody thinks is stupid because they kind of Southern or country or something like that, but really a good person, is smarter than you think he is.
That's a great way to describe Ted Lasso, right? The character, man, for sure. I can see the similarities there. See for yourself saying, I can't believe I haven't started Ted Lasso season 3 yet. Yeah, man. If you enjoy this series, you're really gonna love this one. For me, season 1 is still the best. Season 2 took a bit of a dip for me, to be honest. I felt like they tried to lean in. They tried to get too serious, right? And it lost some of its charm,
But I think that's the appeal of it too, because I think they still won the awards for season 2. I think the appeal, like, well, okay, just because we're good people doesn't mean we don't have problems. Like Ted and his panic attacks, and Nate has his whole I hate myself complex, basically.
Yeah. No, for sure. And then with season 3, they kind of, I feel like they found that balance right?
Right. I agree with you. I agree.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, man. So that's running out. But folks, I can't say it enough. Watch Cleo, please. And if you hate it, well, I was gonna say I'll send
You ain't
you.
gonna do that. If you hate it, what are you
Yeah,
gonna do?
but you're not gonna hate it, dude. You guys are gonna love it, man. And we got some other comments here. My Adventures with Superman has been pretty good. I haven't been able to watch it, Mark.
Bruh, last week's episode, I just caught it up last night when I got back in town.
Yeah.
It is really good, man. I mean, a lot of people are like, well, I think it's slow, I think it's boring, or I don't recognize the characters. I'm like, just watch the show. It's a fresh take on Superman. I mean, that's what it really is. It's a fresh take on Superman.
I gotta watch that, man. Yeah, I've been hearing good stuff. And then see for yourself saying Ted Lasso is pure joy injected into my veins. Yes, yeah, 100%. Man, you just feel good watching it, and that's why I felt like season 2 they went away from that a little bit too much. Season 3, man, yeah, man, just fun stuff. Comic Foil still with us. Big shout out. He's saying Ted Lasso is the greatest show I've seen in years. They can drum up a lot of drama, but still come across as a positive influence. Absolutely couldn't have said it better myself, man. And you know, we need more TV like that. Honestly, you know, like Martin. I like my comic book stuff, my horror and all that stuff. But we need more content like Ted Lasso. I want to feel good, I just want to,
Yeah, you're not alone in the world, and like everybody has problems, but this is how we can overcome our problems, or our problems are not too big to overcome. Yeah.
And it's relatable, right? You know what I mean? Like, we're all going through our stuff, man, through our struggles, through our battles, man. So I really like that. And see for yourself saying, I like that they addressed a lot of mental health topics in season 2. To your point, Marquelon, yeah.
I mean, that's when they introduced the therapist. I mean, and the therapist, she was really good. The actress had a good year because she was on Ted Lasso, she was in Sandman, she's on this other show on Amazon Prime called Riches. I was like, damn, because once you see somebody in one thing, like she was really good as the therapist. Oh, she's in Sandman. Oh, she's in this show right here.
Okay. And I'm not gonna lie, I got a big time thing for Ted Lasso's boss. What's her name?
Rebecca.
Rebecca.
Oh my God. Yeah, I know exactly what you got for her.
My guy, killing me. The definition.
I know it. Yeah, and I like her relationship with Sam. You root for him, like you root for her and Sam. You root for Keeley and Roy. Roy Kent.
You know what was great about season 3? Well, just the ending of the show, because season 3 was the final season, right?
Yes.
Is they didn't kind of, everything didn't end like in a nice little tiny package and say, oh, everything, no, it ended like real life, like uncertainty and, but you're kind of just looking towards the future, right? Like, okay, we got to move forward type stuff.
I keep feeling like they were setting up, like, because I got a feeling Jason Sudeikis is not going to come back and do this, but I got a feeling like, well, we want to do a show without Jason Sudeikis. We can do it. That's how I kind of felt like the end of season 3.
Oh, really, eh?
You didn't get that vibe? Like, if we want to do it without Jason Sudeikis, we can,
I can see that for sure. Which would be like, I don't know, man. You're ending on a high note. Just leave things as they are, right? And then Comic Foil, this was great. So I posted this morning, and he replied. One of the I can count on one hand how many people I know who've actually watched Cleo. So to hear him say, "Oh, it's great," I was like, it got me excited, man. But yeah, he's saying Cleo's full of eclectic characters with a fun delivery and a story that holds your attention. Absolutely, man. The cast of characters is great. You got like the main actress, right? She's a spy. You got the kind of the bumbling, buffoonish, a little bit naive cop who's trying to like move up in the rankings, and then you've got the weird, kooky side character who's like a techno enthusiast and is like kind of out there and believing in the aliens and all kinds of crazy stuff. A great cast of characters for sure. And in Comic Foil, I was saying earlier, just the set pieces, like the production design is just absolutely stunning, gorgeous. You know, like all the set dressing, you know, the furniture, the wallpaper, the carpets is very vibrant, lush, man. I think folks are going to enjoy it. And then spinoff, Ted Lasso spinoff. Is that what we're hearing?
I mean, I hadn't heard it, but I mean, I feel like they set it up for a spinoff. But then
Yeah.
again, you know, Ted Lasso was filmed in the UK, and you know, their film, they usually do what a show, television show only lasts like what 3 seasons. It is only like 12 episodes or 18 episodes. So
Mhm.
you know, they're not used to working like, you know, in America. You know, when I was growing up, it's like a TV show had 24, 25 episodes a season. You know,
Right.
that's how it was, and ran like 7 to 8 seasons. They 5 to 7 seasons if they could.
But what do you think about this? I feel like 3 seasons, you know, 8 to 10 episodes each. I feel like that's the sweet spot, man. You know, I feel
I mean,
like
that's
that's
part of.
enough.
But that's part of the whole Writers Guild strike too. Like, hey, you know, we went from this model of doing 25 episodes and now doing 10.
Mhm.
Is less stories for us to write. I mean, I get it. You know, some things need more. Some shows need more episodes. Some need less. Like I think The Bear has probably got a perfect amount of episodes.
Yeah.
You know.
And they're short too. They're like 24, 25-minute episodes. Folks, it's time for another giveaway. Thank you so much for those who stick around. You know, we're 2.5 hours deep into this back to school summer review. Hope you guys enjoyed our picks, man. It was great listening and seeing all of your picks and recommendations. Some not my to watch and my to read list is like, forget it, Michael. I'm in trouble, man. I'm in trouble. But we got another giveaway for you folks here, man. I'll give everybody another opportunity. One last opportunity. If you haven't already, comment Han back to school in the live chats. And this giveaway here, courtesy, super generous of Adam Cahoon, the artist on the Nasty. He's putting up issue number 1, 2, and 3 of Vault Comics, The Nasty, a great horror comedy series, man. And I'm sure if you guys like to whoever wins it, he'll probably sign it too. I don't see that being.
I like how you're making promises when this man ain't here.
I feel like, you know, like he wanted, you know, I'm just saying, probably. You know?
I'm just saying, you just promised this man. You know, he like,
Yeah.
I ain't said I was gonna sign that. I said I was gonna, you know, contribute.
One of the mods still not banned.
and she did it in capital too. You know.
Yeah. Oh. I don't. Our employee. I had mentioned earlier. I don't know if employees are eligible for.
Well, look, because she says it's for figure.
Yeah. Oh,
she
for
says
figure.
It's for figure.
For behalf on figure. Okay. We've got one collection. Yes, Fable. I see you, my man. See for yourself. Han back to school. Yes. No, I know. Well. Okay. Oh yeah, she missed that. She missed it. Elle, my man figure drawing won the first one. He won this bad boy. It's sexy. It's a nice cover too. Signed by Mike Del Mundo. Are you familiar with Del Mundo? You got to check out his stuff, man. Marquelon, if you haven't already, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me get that wheel up and running.
The Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel up and running. Boom. Nope, that's not the one. Can you guys see that? Can you see that, Mark?
I think so. Yeah? I don't see it. Yeah, it's coming up now.
Yeah. Live chats, help me out here. Can y'all see the Wheel of Fortune?
I see it. I see it on our screen.
Oh, you see it? Okay, perfect.
Yeah, but I don't see it on the live chat yet. I mean, I don't, you know.
I'm back to school. Let me double check, make sure I've got
okay.
Comic Foil in there.
I can't see it now.
You got it, my man? All righty. All righty. Diabolical Nerd, I've got you there. Shout out to all who've stuck around these 2.5 hours. Can you guys, those are the name, folks, just for full transparency. Okay. If you don't see your name there and you're in the chats and you've commented, let me know. I'll give you guys a couple seconds. But I believe I got everybody. And I'm going to shuffle it a couple times. Yes. For the nasty, courtesy of Adam Cahoon. Great book. Here we go. Let's spin. Let's spin this bad boy. Marquelon, what say you?
Spin it, man.
Yeah?
Just spin that wheel.
Okay, here we go. Here we go. And it's Philly Phil. Philly Phil in the house. Congratulations, Phil. Congratulations. You are the winner of issues 1, 2, 3 of The Nasty from Adam Cahoon and John Lees, man. Congrats. Yes, and thank you to everybody who participated in the giveaway, man. Yes, congrats to Phil. Man, it's been a long one, man. It's been a long one. If the wheel starts on me, it's not good. Did it start on you, my man? Hey, I shuffled it a bunch of times, you know what I'm saying? But
well,
yeah,
at least
man.
I do see Elle's name in there because I saw her comment say you left her out, but she is in there. I see it.
No, I'm not. Her name is right there.
Her name is right there.
Her name was right there. Yes. Congrats to Phil. Phil, I'll shoot you if you're not in the chats anymore. I'll shoot you a DM or shoot me a DM, and we'll get your address, all that good stuff, man. Yeah, man. So any surprising picks, Marquelon, that you didn't see make people's tops for comics or film, TV, any of that stuff, man?
No. I mean, I think the thing that got me there was I should have had they clone Tyrone, because I actually did watch that multiple times, and I was over on somebody else's channel talking and watching their review of it. So I mean, I watched that multiple times. I was happy to see Across the Spider-Verse pop up so many times, though.
Yeah, for sure. Right? It was my top. Was your top, right?
Yeah.
And it was John's top.
It was John's top. So yeah, I mean, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just waiting to. Actually, I think that's gonna be one of the ones that I have on physical, because I want that high def. It's just such a beautifully animated film, right?
What you gonna play it on? That's the issue now. Because I was looking every day. When I was in my Atlanta, I went to my old comic book store and they have all these things on DVD, and I'm like, man, I only have a DVD player now.
Oh shit! Well, I got an Xbox, right? So I can play Blu-ray, right? So
okay, yeah. So I got to get me a new PlayStation, man. Shoot.
Okay. He's like, that's my excuse to get the new PS5, man.
If I can get it.
Elle saying Cobweb is great if you haven't watched it already. So who was it? Cookie was saying earlier.
A lot of people are talking about Cobweb. It's got Lizzie Kaplan star in it, and it's like, I'm in a horror group, and that movie has come up like several times in this horror group I'm in on Facebook.
And that's a movie, right?
It's a movie. Yeah, it's a movie.
I'm gonna check it out. Is that streaming or is that like something that was in theaters?
Yeah, it was streaming for me. I mean, they're watching on streaming. So let me see. I thought it was on Amazon or Hulu. Let me check.
Oh, well, if it's on Amazon, I can check. I got Prime.
Well, it's on Prime. It's on Prime. It's for rent right now. Yeah, for $6.99. Oh no, $6.99 American. What I see right now.
Come on, bro. That's like $10 Canadian. Yeah, my man.
That's why I said American. you
right. Live chats, throw a little something in the tip jar for us, man.
So what she say? Boogeyman was good.
Sorry, buddy.
No, it was a Boogeyman. I was trying to see what she said. Was just depressing horror.
Boogeyman.
Yeah, that's that Stephen King story, Boogeyman.
Yeah, I don't even think I've heard that one.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm in the horror, they were like Boogeyman versus something else. I just saw it literally the other day.
Boogeyman, isn't that the one with the kid was trapped in the basement? Didn't that come out last year? Or am I thinking of something else? You know, the teenager was kidnapped by Kevin Bacon.
No, you're talking about Black Door or something like that. I know what you're talking about. Black Mask, Black Door.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that was good.
This is one about someone under the bed, I think.
Okay. And Zach Attack saying Cobweb just hit PVOD. Okay. It was in theaters a week ago. Man. Yeah, I didn't think I would be able to watch TV shows, stuff like that. I've watched next to nothing, right? Like Cleo. I think Cleo, to be honest, and Ted Lasso were the only ones I've watched. But I've managed to sneak away to the theaters, and I watched just about everything that I wanted to, and then some extras like Gran Turismo, folks. I said it earlier. Surprisingly, it's pretty good. It was entertaining, based on a true story. Mission Impossible 7. That to me was the biggest surprise.
I'm just surprised you aren't a Mission Impossible fan. That's what I'm surprised about.
I'm a fan of dope fucking movies, and that was super entertaining action, man. Top tier. Oh, okay. Yes, thank you.
It was Black Phone.
Ethan Hawke, not Kevin Bacon. Yeah. And also, don't ever correct me on air like that again. Right. We don't do that here. And it's Black Phone.
Yeah, Black Phones. I see it's on Prime, but it was on Peacock for a while too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, as we get ready for horror season, spooky season, so I know Creep shows. I'm gonna watch that. And,
is Dead Rise part of the Evil Dead universe?
Yep. Evil Dead.
Is, eh?
Yep.
Gotta watch that. I gotta watch that.
Wait. What did you say about Hijack?
Comic Foil saying Hijack with Idris Elba turned out to be pretty good. Played out almost in real time. Oh.
And I didn't realize that.
I'm getting like a 24 vibe to it.
I guess each episode was like a part of the flight, because the flight starts in the first episode and it ends on the last episode. So yeah, I guess so. It's the entire flight from Dubai to London.
Okay. Evil, yeah, more love for Evil Dead.
I mean, Evil Dead Rise is one. I mean, this has been a good year for horror in movies. I've seen Evil Dead Rise. I've seen Scream 6. I've seen Last Words of Demeter, Talk to Me. I mean, probably I liked Last Words of Demeter. I love the end of Last Words of Demeter. It's a slow burn, ugly Dracula killing people, murking people left and right.
Okay.
And Talk to Me, just the kids just got on my nerves, Sergio. You a parent, you get your. How would you feel? You saw your oldest son, like, hey, let's let a demon possess us and see what happens.
Okay. No, that's the one. That's the one that I'm gonna. What was the name again, Marquelon?
Talk to Me.
Talk to Me. Thank you. I'm not gonna forget it. Talk to Me. That honestly sounds pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. I see. Elle said something stressed me out. What stressed you out, Elle? That's what I'm curious to see.
Zach. So which is I'm not even sure if it's part of the Mission Impossible franchise. The one with Henry Cavill. And
that's 6. That's
6. Oh, so I did watch that. Yeah.
So and they're right. 4, 5, and 6 is like they are like balls to the wall crazy. Okay. It's like, all right, they basically solidified. This is what Mission Impossible gonna be going forward. Crazy ass missions. Our core team is going to be Tom Cruise. Ving Rhames and Simon Pegg.
Okay.
Everybody else.
Yeah. So I watched 6 because Henry Cavill was in it. And he was a beast. So I was like, okay.
All right. Well, I see.
It was awful. You know what?
I like Scream 6. Was it 6?
That was okay too. Yeah.
Because what I mean, spoiler, the killer reveal was probably one of the most unique killer reveals to me. I'm like, okay, well, this is something different. Crazy people still.
I like that opening sequence in the alley in New York City, and then with you thought we got the killers, and then it turned out. So that was cool. That was cool. I mean, yeah, I'm with Zach. I thought it was cool.
But I feel like Scream is always trying to write themselves out of a corner. You're like, oh, how do we top what we did last? Kind of the same way Saw does, which we have a new Saw coming out. Saw 10 is coming out.
how would the live chats? How would you guys rate the Scream movies? Because I mean, the first one is like you're never gonna beat it, right? Is no, I wouldn't say it's a classic, but it's the best one. And then I would put the latest Scream right there. You know, I'd put it like right. You know, maybe ranked it as the second best one. I don't know. That's just me, man.
I mean, I definitely, but I enjoyed Scream 5 because I mean, basically, I think you need to watch Scream 5 and 6 together.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Definitely, they go
Yeah.
hand in hand. Yeah. What's the
And
new?
really, if you want to get technical, watch Scream 4 because you know, a character from Scream 4 is in Scream 6, you know, as well.
And Comic Foil saying, I couldn't figure out how they would hold our attention over so many episodes, but so many layers were added to the plot, which ended up being great. Which show is this one here? What did I miss? What did I miss, guys? Help me out here.
I know.
You are my friend, but I could not disagree more about Bo is Afraid. Oh, so Zach saying Bo is Afraid is great too, kind of horror and drama. Okay. Haven't even heard of that.
Yeah, that's with Joaquin Phoenix in it, I think. You know.
Joaquin?
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix is both great.
Okay.
You know, it looked weird to me, and I'm like, sometimes, you know, I don't want to. I feel bad when I watch a weird movie and I don't like it. I wasted my time.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wasted my time.
Time is money, baby. We only got so much of it, right? Scream 4 was fun. Scream 4.
Yeah, that's the one with Kirby. You know, Hayden Panettiere's character. That's when she first appeared in Scream 4.
Oh yeah. Scream 4 was Scream 4 was alright.
You know, and that's where Emma Roberts ended up being the killer.
Yeah.
You know, spoilers for y'all who hadn't seen this movie the past 10 years. Emma Roberts was her niece that you thought was a victim, but she ended up being the mastermind killer. Her and Rory Culkin.
Oh no, so see, he meant Scream 6. He said
Okay,
about the latest one. Yeah.
I've already heard rumors that the next Scream is going to be set in London.
Yeah.
They going international. That's the next move.
Okay. Hold on. So I'm seeing here Megan. Megan was okay. I don't know, something about it. I didn't entirely. I don't know. I wasn't feeling it like that. I just put it like that. It was all right.
I mean, I've heard good things about Megan. Megan, I hadn't watched Megan yet. I'm going to save it from my horror list. And so, Serge, I don't know if you have it, but you know, I have Shudder, the horror thing from AMC, and like I'll be watching Shudder all day. I got to stop watching Shudder because when I watch too much horror, it's like I begin to get I can feel my body like, oh, your fight and flights is going consistently. I'm like, I got to watch some comedy, something to lighten it up.
Yeah. Oh man. Scream needs to go to space. Stop it.
And Jason, it was actually good. The plot made sense. The kills were good. But it made sense. It made sense. Like, hey, we're gonna freeze them. You know, it was like Buck Rogers gone tragically wrong.
He's saying I had Jason 10 on VHS and watched it. It was like the only movie in the house. Yeah. Exactly. Fast and Furious already went to space. Shark jumped for that series. Oh man. Listen, if you go back to the first Fast and the Furious, some of the stuff that was going even back then, it was just like, oh, okay, man. But yeah, I'm not. I think if anybody, regular viewers of the show, no, I'm not a fan of the.
I mean, my thing with the Fast and Furious, it is ridiculous. My sister, she loves it, but I'm like, this movie is ridiculous. But I watch it because it is ridiculous.
Yeah. And hey, we're gonna wrap it up in just a House of Nerd Tees gonna be made available soon.
Look at you advertising. I like that shirt too, man.
A little two-tone action going on. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a jersey kind of shirt, man. I like that.
Yeah, man. Marquelon, you know, I got a little something for you, folks. Let me know if you'd be interested. Hit me up in the DMs, email, all that stuff. Man, these are pretty snazzy. I got some other styles available too. I got like a plain white.
I had to hit this comment right here.
What's that? Fast and Furious needs to go to Atlantis and have a scene where Dom actually jumps a ship. They're not that far off from it.
Which is weird because Jason Momoa is in Fast and the Furious now. So
yeah. Man, didn't they bring a bunch of people back from the dead? They're like,
Yes, 𝐬𝐻𝐞 is back.
yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, well, you're popular in something else now. Let's bring you back over here.
But I'm
You
not
know,
mad at Gal Gadot content. That's cool. You can bring her back.
and did you see her movie on Netflix, Heart of Stone? That was actually good.
No.
It was
I want to
it was
quick shout out to a comic foil, man. Great having you in the chat, man. Everybody in the chat, man. A whole bunch of fun this episode. Great hearing your stuff, man. Appreciate you guys, bud. Sorry, Marquelon. Yeah.
no. I'm just saying that. I mean, it was actually. I mean, it's a run of the mill action flip, but the setup was really good. You're like, oh, well, you know, she's gonna get with Jamie Dornan, and it's gonna be this, and it's gonna be that. Nothing in that movie comes off like that. They completely like subvert your expectations in the first hour. Like, okay.
Yeah. And look, we got a late joiner, but much appreciated. Shout out John's Comics with Kids. Good morning. Happy Sunday. You missed all the good stuff, John. We're just about to get out of here, but we had a great chat with the community, with the chats, and with John Lees and Adam Cahoon, the creators of The Nasty. We got into our favorite movies, comics, TV shows, all that good stuff. What else did we get into, Mark? All kinds of stuff, eh?
I mean, we ran a whole gamut today. We talked about you. I mean, a whole gamut. I mean, it was a lot of stuff. You know, I hadn't seen it to add to my list and stuff like that. Like you got me on Cleo. Somebody got me on that other movie. I can think what it was, but I was
Folks,
like, okay.
So if the biggest takeaway you get from this show, watch Cleo. Watch Cleo. It's top tier television, man. You guys are gonna love it. German content and just in general, TV's great.
How you have time to watch German content with subtitles, but you can't watch other stuff?
It's true. This is true. I'm a sucker for my German content, man. Pagan Peak, The Dark, or Dark, I should say.
Oh, the Dark,
stuff.
yeah. Dark was on Netflix. It's still on Netflix. I got to commit to that, man, because I think on Netflix I just finished My Dad is a Bounty Hunter, which I should have added to my list. It's a great animated cartoon.
Appreciate it, John.
And then I got to finish Black Mirror. I'm on series 3 now.
The latest season of Black Mirror. I'll say is a little underwhelming. It wasn't bad, but there was nothing stood out to me. You know what I mean? It was all right. Yeah, man. Folks, it's that time. It's that. Oh! I saw that. Oh, just that. That's the last cut. There we go. Dark is an absolute classic. Oh man, I love that stuff. We gotta collab, Zach. You know what I mean? Yeah. No, great stuff. And listen, folks, I appreciate all you guys, man. The community, fantastic. Had a whole bunch of fun. You know, the obligatory, like, subscribe, all that good stuff, man. You know, share, comment, man. We appreciate this community. Had a whole whack of fun. Congrats to the giveaway winners. Marquelon, any parting words?
Hey, man, go read some comics. That's my parting words.
That's it, baby. We're out of here. Have a wicked Sunday.